first one. This is my 5th one.
Number 7.
My 27th.
Number 41.
Awesome, best day ever.
Carrying Old Glory is an opportunity to say thank you. Today we're honoring Master Sergeant Skip.
I'm the mother of twin sons who were born 10 weeks premature. I'm running for Texas Children's Hospital in honor of my sons and for all the children at Texas Children's Hospital.
So Corey is my great niece. I'm going to use my running to be able to help her out.
I lost my son last year and I run for him this year. He ran with me today, side to side.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself. Yes, I did it! I did it! Ah!
Way to go, Houston! Oh, this is awesome!
Go Houston! Yeah!
The Chevron Houston Marathon, Aramco Houston Half Marathon, and We Are Houston 5K, sponsored by Aramco and Chevron.
From beautiful downtown Houston, look at that shot on this Sunday morning. Welcome to the 48th running of the Chevron Houston Marathon, the 18th running of the Aramco Half Marathon. It is 46 degrees and your perfect day for a race in downtown Houston as we look at the starting line from our drone shot this morning. Good morning to all of you on this Sunday morning. I'm Tom Cook along with my partner Gina Gaston and our man who knows all about running, John Warren, the track coach, men's track coach at Rice University. Good morning to both of you.
Yes, it's a great morning to be out. It's ideal temperatures for people who like to run 26 miles or so.
This could be a perfect day. They are hoping for 4 records today. That happened in 2012. The field's good enough to do it in these conditions. If this wind stays calm, they could actually get it done today.
You know, this is so exciting because this opportunity gives people who are neophyte runners a chance to run alongside the world's best. Tell us about the field that we're going to see run here in downtown Houston today.
In the women's marathon, you have DeGeffa, she's a 3-time winner. She's going to be trying to become the first 4-time winner in either the men's or the women's fields, and she's the first woman that's run it 3 times in a row. The women's half, maybe even a stronger field. Last year, Bridget Kosgei set the USA All-Comers record at 65.50. There's at least 3 women that could run that today. One's a returning champion in Aga, and then Caroline Chepkowicz is probably the favorite in that one. The men's marathon is a 2:04 entry and a 2:05 entry. The course record's 2:06.50. This is about as good conditions as they've ever run, and so that's got a really good chance as well.
Got a little bit of a factor with the wind this morning.
If the wind's strong, I think it's or the pacing's off, it's going to be tough to get any of these records because they're so fast. All the records here are really good.
And the wind, we talk about the wind, but it also matters what direction that wind is blowing. They are getting ready to line up there at the starting line, and we're so excited to have so many great reporters all along this route for you today. They're going to be bringing you updates on how these runners are doing, and we're going to be monitoring them as well.
And you see our sky tracking technology, you know right where we are. Right there on Congress Street is where those runners are lining up now. 7:01 this morning, and the elite runners from corrals A, B, and C will take off, followed by 22,000 other runners. This year, again, we have a full race, 11,000 in the half and 11,000 in the marathon. Regular runners, as we like to say, but people who are just hoping they can make the race and cross the finish line.
Yeah, a lot of people set, life goals for themselves, personal goals to get a chance to run in a half marathon or a marathon. So it's a big deal for them and their family and the entire community to come out and cheer them on.
Oh yeah, every year someone asks, what do we do to get ready for the marathon next year? It's like you train really hard. This isn't like a 5K where you can walk through it and make it. You can't fake a marathon.
Yeah. We look at the famous faces lining up right there.
Right, I was going to say, and some of them are shaking this morning, John. They don't have a lot of body fat, so this cold temperature this morning will affect them a little bit.
Right, and they're sweaty a little bit as well, so if there's any breeze at all right now, they're feeling cold. You can see them shaking their hands together and just trying to get going. Once the gun goes off, they'll be fine. I'm surprised there's not more gloves on right now, because normally they'd start at least with gloves and ditch those gloves a little while later.
I remember the first year I did this with you guys, and I was like, oh, they're small. They're what, like about 5'10" and 185 pounds, because I'm with a family of basketball and volleyball players. So everybody's huge in my family. And you're like, no, Gina, like 135 pounds,
or
5'5".
Right. The girls are 5'1", 95 pounds.
Yeah. And the men?
If they're 5'10", they go like 118.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
If you're, I was a 5'10", 140, and I was gigantic.
You were a big guy.
Yeah, I was huge out there.
They were like, stop eating so much Whataburger.
Now, except for the elite runners, a lot of other people will have layers of clothing on today, which they will shed along the race course. And volunteers will be picking up all that clothing. Every year they collect and donate more than 10,000 pounds of clothing that's shed along the race course, including some shoes, apparently, because people bring in a couple sets of shoes and change into them and then just give them away in the morning. Goes to the Star of Hope. Yeah. So it's all for a good cause. We also do recycling, and there's all kinds of, recycling programs along the way. So it's an incredible race, and we got a lot of volunteers, 7,000 ready to start this race this morning.
Yeah, I just heard them say on the overhead, 1 minute till start, and that was about 10 seconds ago. As we see, we'll be talking about the tennis shoes later, but I am noticing a commonality in the front row.
Yeah, you see that the bright kind of neon shoes are an indication of a wave that's hit marathoning and half marathon the last couple of years that might be going away.
Okay, well we'll talk more about it, because you can't talk about the coverage of speed running without talking about these elite, these shoes.
Right, some people say it gives them an unfair advantage, and we'll talk about that. We'll actually show you those shoes this morning. In a couple of minutes, we'll give you the details on what those shoes look like and compare them to a regular running shoe, because these new things are, well, they're more like a springboard.
They're kind of a machine on your feet.
Yeah.
It's a debatable, it's a polarizing thing in the running world.
Yep.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That is Brant Koch, the race director, about to start this race, and we are off with the 48th running of the Chevron Houston Marathon, and again, the 18th running of the Aramco Half Marathon, and the elites are out, John, and what goes through your mind as you get past that starting line?
Trying not to go too fast. They're so fit. Like you take Kilkelly, the favorite in this race, he could go off and run a 4:10 mile, 4:15 mile by mistake. I mean, they've got to slow themselves down to the paces they're trying to hit, which is still very, very fast, but you can't go out too fast in the first mile. For the regular runners, the advice is often, if you come through the first mile too fast, stop. Actually stop, walk for a few seconds and get going. And don't get too caught up in thinking you're feeling great.
Yeah.
The normal rule for a marathon is the halfway point is 20 miles. You cannot get excited till 20 miles. If you're a risky runner, you make a big move at 17 or 18.
I could see the adrenaline would kick in though sometime. Yeah.
It's a very exciting. And you see how the pinch point where they're squeezing them down? What that allows for, even though it's frustrating, it looks like it's frustrating, it's not. It allows everyone to hit the starting line running. So they don't do a walking period or they're forced to slow down. The pinch points before they start racing. Otherwise, they'd be pinch points during the race.
And everyone's time starts right there electronically at the starting line.
Right. You'll at the end of the race, you'll get a gun time and you'll get a chip time. The chip time is it's on your bib, and you'll see the gun time and chip time might be 45 or 50 minutes off for the final finishers. It'll take 50, 55 minutes to get everyone through the start line.
And it's a long, long process, but this is really the way to do it, as you say, funnel people to the starting line.
Right, because they can go to a gigantic race and still get to run the entire way.
We do have a guy, and we're going to bring him up here, Callum Neff, who is the last man running, or last runner starting, I should say, because he is going to go at the back of the crowd. And then he gets up to the starting line maybe 40 to 50 minutes.
I think 55 minutes.
55 minutes, and he's going to try and pass as many people as he can. And for every person he passes, they make donations to the charities.
Yes, he's doing the half marathon, so he'll still reach us while we're still on air.
Yeah, this event isn't just about the elite runners coming to town, getting a chance to perhaps qualify for the Olympics, and we'll talk more about that. But it's also about raising money locally for so many of our nonprofits, and the Run for a Reason program has given us a chance to touch so many nonprofits in this community. People dedicate their running, their training, to a cause that they believe in. And you'll see a lot of these nonprofits along the route, particularly at the beginning, holding up their signs.
And there's 60 or 70 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge list that really benefit from this race.
I think they say $30 million
donated so far
has been raised because of that program. So this event really touches people who are the most elite in the sport, and regular folks who want to run for their own personal development, and then people who don't run at all, but get a chance to be touched by this event being in our community.
As you can line up as a regular person, you get to line up with the best in the world. Just think if you got to do that with J.J. Watt.
I was thinking I'm playing with LeBron. LeBron and I are out there together.
He might dunk on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a very cool opportunity.
22,000 people run every year. It's pretty much an even split between the marathon and the half marathon. Not everybody makes it to the finish line. There are a lot more people, obviously, that drop out of the marathon. But since 1972, 186,000 people have crossed the finish line in the marathon, and 156 in the half marathon in the last 18 years. So we got a pretty good finishing record here in Houston.
Oh yeah, the course itself and the weather. You look down that list that they have in that book. The weather has been very good here. There's very few years that have been super hot, which is unusual for Houston. We think it's going to be bad, but they've gotten really lucky with this marathon.
Yeah. And actually, in excess of 27,000 people registered. It's saying it right there. Courtney just put that up. By the way, you feel free to share your thoughts with us using the hashtag HOU Marathon, and we'll be happy to share some of your tweets and social media comments during our broadcast. But 27,000 people register. All I guess don't make it is what happens.
That also includes the 5K. They do a 5K yesterday.
5K. That's right. Okay. I think David Nuno is down there at the starting line for us. David?
Hey, Gina, watching these guys right before they started, seeing their warm-up has me reevaluating my entire style when it comes to running. They really get after it. As you can see right now, they are off and running. Not as many layers being thrown on the ground as we've seen in years past. I think they want to stay a little warm for a little bit, but they are off and they are going. One theme you can always guarantee here at the start line is a bunch of smiles and people just excited to get started. Everyone's looking over at our cameras, having a great time running out here. They begin their race strategy. It all starts right here, obviously, at the start, and they go for 26.2 or 13.1. Let's go back to you guys in the studio.
All right, David, thank you. The prize total this year, about $281,000 is the top prize money this year overall, collectively. It is now given to the top 8 finishers in each race. In the past, it has been the top 7 finishers. The number 1 runner in the marathon wins $45,000. The winner of the half marathon, $20 grand, John. A lot of money, but not compared to some other races around the world.
Right, but there's also more money involved because if they run certain time bonuses, and everybody gets that time bonus. Like the extreme would be in the marathon, if you set the course record, they double it. You get $45,000, and then you also, on top of it, get another $20,000 for running under 2:07:30. And they have those time bonuses go down quite a ways. So even if you could get good money and not be in the top 8. That's happened in the past as well, where they give time bonuses like that. It's prize money comparison. Boston gives a lot more. Tokyo gives a lot more. Interestingly, London does not. It gives like $5,000 more to the winner, but they give a gajillion dollars in appearance money. You get people, the best in the world, that get $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 just to start.
To show up.
Yes.
And let's go back and talk, I mentioned it earlier, but about the Olympic qualifying opportunity that these runners have today. I know that's a big deal for us here today.
There's 2 things going on today. There's runners from other countries trying to hit the Olympic standard, which is 2:11:30 for the men and 2:29:30 for the women. There's a few doing that. There are dozens trying to hit the Olympic trials qualifying standards. Those are for the women for the U.S. only Olympic trials. The Olympic trials are February 29th in Atlanta. This is the last day you can qualify. Of anywhere else in the world. This is it. This is the last race. And you can qualify in the half marathon or the marathon. For the women, it's 73 minutes in the half marathon or 2:45 for the B standard. And there's a 2:37 standard for the A. The only difference between A and B is who's paying your way.
Okay.
And then in the men, it's at 64 minutes for the half marathon, and it's 2:19 for the B, 2:15 for the A. They have an athlete development program here where they're bringing in dozens and dozens of people, this is just a great program.
They mean the Houston Marathon.
Houston Marathon.
Okay.
And in this thing, you don't get like a free hotel room or anything like that, but you get a free entry and a place to warm up on the starting line. You get a clean start. That doesn't sound like it's a big deal, but the difference from being stuck in the masses, which is wonderful people and everything, and being able to stride out and go is a huge difference. It gives those guys a chance to make the Olympic trials.
So we might see how many people, do you think? I mean, in the past years, how many people might we see?
Last year it was probably 6 or 7, but this year there could be 15, 20. Brant Koch, the race director, thinks it could be a stream of guys coming between 2:18 and 2:19. They've got special rabbits for those folks to try to make it.
Exciting.
Now, most of the runners, the top 10 runners in this year's marathon, are either from Ethiopia or Bahrain, and the same as, I think all top 10 runners, I'm talking about the people that have entered with the fastest times in the women's marathon, are also from Ethiopia. In the half, it's a lot different. It's Kenyans who are leading the pack in terms of times, both in the men's and the women's half marathon.
Right. The fastest is in the men's half. It's Jamal Yimmer is actually from Ethiopia as well. He's got a 58:33. He's got the 4th fastest time ever run. That's starting with that race. That's the race that they've got 7, 8 guys that have run under the course record in their lives, and Yimmer's way under that. Last year he'd done it as well. He'd run 58:33 last year, but he got 2nd.
Right. I was going to say he's got a grudge match against
Katada, who won it last year.
Right.
And the time, even though we said, oh, he didn't get the course record, it was the fastest time running in the United States last year, 60:11.
Wow.
So it's the fastest legal time running in the United States.
We're looking right now at the, we just switched shots. That's the male full right now that we're looking at.
No, this is the half.
Oh, that's the...
Yeah, this is up on the screen now is Jared Ward. These are I think there's 2 packs going on. Because this looks like an American pack, and this looks like the non-American pack. So, because none of the American...
Oh, there I see. Look, is that the same group behind? No, it's a different group.
I think that's the marathon people hanging on to the half marathon.
Half marathon people.
One of the tricks is this race is so fast in the half that 62 minutes it's hard to describe how good that is for a half marathon. And they might lose by 3 minutes today. I mean, by over half a mile, running a great mark that's going to be a top 10 American mark for the year.
You know, some of these guys look like they're so relaxed, and then other people look like they're struggling already. But that's just the running style.
The comparison with these two,
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, this is the marathon people right now, and they're just right behind the half people.
Let me talk a little bit about the evolution of speed, because back in the first modern Olympics, 1896, the race was run in 2:58. The winner set that time of 2:58. The women's was in 1926 in London, one of the very first women's full marathons in London. The woman won it in 3:40. Now you've got a world record at 2:01:37. Actually, somebody's broken the 2-hour mark, but that was sort of on a different track. But so we'll go by 2:01:37. So you've shaved an hour off the running times in the last 100 years or so.
Well, 100 years ago, 115 years ago, they didn't train.
And they didn't have the shoes, the technology.
Oh, yeah. And even like you jump ahead 60, 70 years, like in the 50s, they were training like today. They're doing 100, 120 miles a week on really bad shoes. They didn't have Memorial Park and the soft surfaces. They're running just on concrete with cars. So they were injured a lot. Al Lawrence used to be a coach here in town, got the 56 bronze medal in the 10K. And he said once that I wasn't the third fittest 10K runner in the world when I got that medal. I was the third fittest healthy runner in the world when I got that medal, because you just pushed the limit and got hurt. The shoes, the running surfaces, and the techniques to rehab are way better. I mean, they're unimaginable 150 to 120 years ago.
Well, 100 years is a long time.
It is a long time. It is a long time. The oldest runner in the marathon today, 83 years old. The oldest in the half is 89 years old.
You got to slow down on that, Tom.
I know.
83 years old running a marathon.
And his knees can still take it.
His knees are still holding up.
Yep.
The oldest female marathoner, 77 years young. Right. And the youngest, a brother and sister, youngest marathoners are 12 years old today.
Yeah, the Lobrato brother and sisters from El Paso, they're both 12 years old. She is 11 months older than he is. They're not twins. And it brings up how young is too young to start training. There's not a lot of research on what running does to younger bodies in terms of joints and all that. Some doctors say, you know, the body plates move a little bit if you train too much as a younger person. Your body's still growing, still developing. But not a lot of research long-term on what happens with kids. Of course, you know, for the cardiovascular system and all of that, it's great. But what happens to your young knees and joints at that age?
The irony is that we found that it's not really the distance running that's a problem. It's the intensity. So if you, like in a junior high age, 12, 13, 14, if you're doing a lot of repeat miles and repeat 400s, you're running really hard, that causes more problems, stagnates your ability to develop than the mileage does. Most people freak out by hearing, they're doing 30 or 40 miles a week.
So they should run slower.
It's an easier, more tempo, more aerobic until your body finishes growing and it starts slowing down in the growth.
Yeah. And in the half marathon, you got a 7- and 8-year-old running. Those are the youngest in the half marathon. My initial reaction is 12 years old is too young. But then you look at the other side of some of these athletes that we have a very young field today. Some of the elite runners are 21, 22, 23, and they've been doing marathons for years.
Yeah.
So
12's too young, but what's not? So maybe 12 isn't too young. Do you start getting ready at 16 and race at 17, 18?
Right. And let's ask the 83-year-old who's running the marathon.
I'd be very curious to know when the 83-year-old started running to run marathons at 83 still.
There's also two gentlemen in this field that are trying to run sub-3-hour marathon for their sixth decade. They've run a sub-3 in the 70s, 80s, 90s, aughts, teens, and now the 20s.
Wow.
And you have 544 legacy runners in this marathon today. That's people who have run 10 or more Houston marathons. So you really have a devoted crowd in this field of runners today. 544 legacy runners.
Right. I think the longest is run, Jack Lippincot's run all of them.
I think so.
I think he's on his, whatever year, this is the 44th time he's done it.
48th marathon. Yeah, that's, I mean, people like coming back to this event because the city and Chevron do such a great job, Aramco, in hosting everyone like they really are special.
Oh, we talk about this every year. The George R. Brown Convention Center is the key. Yeah, if you go to Boston, you go to New York, they're going to have an elite 10, an elite room for just the elites. And everybody gets that exact. I went to Boston one year, they put you in the gym. But this is nicer than the gym that they put the Boston runners in. The very best in the world. That's all they have is a gym next to the starting line. All the non-elites sit outside. If it's rainy, it's cold. You're stuck in the rain and the cold. They have some tents, but it gets muddy and it's hard. And you're out there for hours.
It's hard to keep your muscles.
Oh, it's hard to make it a great experience. This is a great experience no matter what. You can stay in there until you're ready to get out. And then they feed everybody.
They got breakfast.
Do all these small things. But the major thing is they really take care of the athletes.
Yeah.
They treat everyone as if they're a true athlete.
And you are still watching most of the runners get to the starting line. Right, start.
People are still starting.
Yep, we're seeing those groups being funneled up.
This is not old tape.
No, this is not, as a matter of fact.
Still people.
Well, when you got 22,000 plus runners trying to get to the starting line, it does take a while. And then you've got Callum Neff, the last runner, starting way at the back of that pack. And he's actually going to run and then join us here on the set to give us his take on what that's like.
It seems to me that the deeper you go, the more clothes I see on them. Like the elite runners didn't have extra stuff to shed, and a lot of these more neophyte runners seem to me to have more leggings and jackets and hats. And
they'll probably lose those eventually.
Yeah. When did these guys finally warm up? After the first mile?
Oh no, they do a full warm up. They'll run 2 or 3 miles prior to this.
So that's why you said they were sweating.
Yeah, they're doing a full warm up and they're doing full strides. Yeah, you've got to. It's actually the rule I like to explain to folks is you need to be whatever your first mile is going to be. Say you're doing repeat miles at that, you need to be warmed up to handle that and make it be really easy. Well, they went out like for the half marathoners, they went out in 4:35 for the mile. So you can't just hop out of bed and run at 4:35 and make it be comfortable.
Yeah.
But also the distance isn't the key, even for the marathoners. They know they can run 26 miles.
So where do they do that run up? That warm-up mile?
They're all over the...
Okay.
Yeah, they're just...
I mean, we've been around here downtown this morning, and I hadn't noticed them.
Yeah, they'll go to the starting area. They bus them over there, and then they warm up through the downtown streets.
Okay. All right, we're going to take you to mile 4, the River Oak Shopping Center, and our man on the street, Ted Ober. Good morning to you, Ted.
Yeah, hey, good morning, Tom and Gina. It is a chilly spot here in River Oaks as we start to see the elite runners come down here past the 4-mile mark. They're running a great clip. They're still a bit in the distance behind this first set of police cars here, but out on the streets already, there are plenty of spectators here. Who are you guys waiting for?
Alan.
Alan, is Alan in the first pack here, or Alan's maybe still not started yet?
I don't. He might have started already.
I hope so, but it's cold this morning, huh?
Yeah, it's really cold.
And you know what? For the runners, guys, it's going to be cold. I don't know if the elites will, but I would imagine all sorts of our friends will have gloves on. Their hands are really chilly, just waiting for these runners to come. Those are the lights you can see way in the distance. What we've seen so far are a lot of the wheelchair competitors coming through to start this race, but now we'll start to see more of the runners, more of the people that could win this race. As you talked about early on, the weather for the runners is fantastic, and the wind, it picks up from time to time, but it is not a steady wind, and it's not in their face as they come down West Gray here, and likely would not have been in their face as they were coming out of downtown on Washington. It is a great morning now that the sun is up, and this, by the way, guys, through River Oaks is a great spot to watch. You have plenty of time to come down here if you're close in this neighborhood. It is one of my favorite mornings in all of Houston to see this city sort of put it on, and it's a great way to cheer on your neighbors who certainly could use a little bit of the support. Maybe not here, but certainly later on. Go ahead, Tom.
Is there a band behind you, Ted, or a drum corps?
It's what I travel with, Tom. It's the Morton Ranch drum line.
That's the way you roll, huh, Ober?
Yeah, well, you know, it's a big morning for all of us here.
This is cool.
This is how they keep warm. But, oh, here, look at this. It is so fun to watch these elite runners go by. If they sweat, they don't show it, but they're also not smiling. If I could run like that, I wouldn't stop smiling. I mean, that is awesome. It is so cool to watch them. And then behind them, David, is the second pack. I believe this is what you guys thought might be the second pack, or maybe the full marathon pack coming behind them. Very tightly bunched, both packs at this point, running past us at the 4-mile mark. It's fantastic. Way to go, guys. Looking good.
You know, it looks like they're jogging, but when you're up close, Ted, they're running. They are sprinting.
I don't drive that fast in my commute to work. I mean, and it's effortless. It is so much fun to watch them because it just, when I run, it looks like it's about to be my first step or my last step of my life. But these guys, it's just effortless. It's just step after step, and turnover is incredible. They just do it. It's fun to see.
It is. And for those of you sitting at home and you want to go out and watch the race, go ahead and do it. If it's close to you and you can get there, because these runners really do appreciate all the cheers and all the sideline hoopla. A lot of the elite runners told us that's what helps them get to the finish line.
And I'm like, Tom, it doesn't look like a jog to me. It looks like full throttle.
Well, jogging is the word I should never use with these guys.
No, it looks fast. It looks fast.
They are flying. I mean, right now, the paces they're on, and they won't hold this, but the marathon pace is sub 2:04.
Yeah, you see some of the tweets?
Sub 2:04.
Yeah.
They're they're on race pace.
Really?
Course record pace for the half, and the women's marathon pace. They're on like 2:21 pace right now. This is early. I mean, the rabbits may be excited, but they're not leaving it out there. I mean, they're not gonna. They're trying right now. They're flying.
And at the bottom of your screen, you see some of the tweets people are sending out this morning. We hope you'll get involved as well. Tweet us at HOU Marathon. Use that hashtag, and we'll try and get some of your tweets on the air. And as this person says, good luck to all our friends and colleagues running, and that's for sure. Tonight, 10:35, it's our show, The Finish Line. We'll have your friends and neighbors and those people out there running, plus the elites on our wrap-up show at 10:35 tonight. We hope you'll join us then, because you can see your friends and neighbors.
Yes, and we were trying to get a shot, too, of the women, of the female half marathoners. Oh, okay, they just went by. I apologize when Tom was talking. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
There they are at Ted Oberg's location at the River Oak Shopping Center. And I can't tell, John, are those the half marathoners or the full marathoners? Oh, they just went by again. So when you looked up, you saw them from behind.
That may have been the half.
I think they're the half.
The half, okay.
But on
the
left.
I want to also note that this marathon makes itself accessible to all kind of athletes. Today we have 4 marathoners in a wheelchair, 4 in the half marathon, hand cyclists, 20 hand cyclists in the marathon, 3 in the half marathon. We have a set of duos in the marathon, 6 in the half marathon. 13 marathoners who are visually impaired, and I have to mention that one of our co-workers, Justin Sternberg, is going to be guiding one of those runners. 27 are in the half marathon who are visually impaired, mobility impaired, 4 in the half, 4 in the full, and 89 guides for the marathon and the half marathon, making themselves available to make sure that these athletes are able to compete today.
That's really a cool thing to watch, and if we see them along the course, we'll point them out to you. These guides who take the visually impaired or some of the people who are disabled through the course. In fact, for the visually impaired, they're telling them where to step next, and just helping them avoid the turns and all of that kind of thing, and running into a curb or whatever else. But they keep them in the middle of the pack.
I think the courage to be a blind runner is just amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You're right.
The trust you have to have in your
Well, and the
guide.
training has to be difficult because you have to find someone to train alongside you too all along. So you have to have a real commitment to want to fulfill this goal.
Also today, Michael Roger is in the race. Michael Roger is what they call T46 Paralympic runner. He's has an arm amputee, nothing below his arm. He's already owns the world record of 2:22 for the T46 Paralympian. He's trying to be the the first person to ever break 220. Based on his other marks, he can. I think 218, 217 even is not out of the question for him. He's run great halves. He's run great mile, great 1500s. He's phenomenal. He's from Australia.
So many great stories. Also a story of father and son going for the world record. UK runners Matt and Andrew Leach trying to break the world record, fastest father and son. Their time combined is what is used. They're trying to beat 220 together. So just a whole lot of opportunities here.
And that's possible, though. Andrew Leach ran for University of San Francisco. He's really good. He's run a 28-minute 10K. He's run a 13:35 5K, which translates to he can run 62 minutes, maybe better. So his dad only has to run 70. I can't remember now, 75 minutes. But his dad can do it. He ran 72 minutes 2 years ago. His dad's 55. I know how that feels. So we'll see. If
I do too.
But I think they have a really good chance to get that record.
Okay, I'm going to tell you that the female half marathon is on the left. You don't see a lot of the women in there because they're a bit shadowed by this group of men who are there, but they are there. And then
I see them.
There you go. There they are. That's the female leaders in the half marathon.
Nia, she's going for a 13-year-old Japanese record in the half marathon. 67:26 is what she's trying to run today.
Is this her first time in this event?
This is her first time in this event.
Yeah,
she had run a half marathon in like 8 years. She ran it when she was really young, has banged out some excellent 10Ks over the years. She's a great track runner, and she's moving back to the roads, and this is where she started trying to get that record.
Does this work out when you draft people, get behind them and try not to get in the breeze? Stay out of the breeze?
This is huge. If she could stay with this pack of guys, it's just going to be awesome for her. You live for this.
There's the benefit of being the 5'1" woman, huh?
Yeah, remember we were talking about how at the marathon time that broke 2 that didn't count? She's getting it here, and it counts. She can have that same blockage the whole way. If she's the leader, and I believe she is, I don't know where the others are, because she's probably 2 minutes behind where Chepkoech can run. So I'm wondering if she's in the wrong. I'm wondering where the others are at this point.
That's what I was wondering.
We're going to search for them. Take a quick break.
Or maybe she's running even too fast for that.
Yep. We're just getting started. We got 2.5 hours of live coverage left in the 48th running, the Chevron Houston Marathon. Back in a moment.
Runners depend on the weather forecast because getting caught in the rain is no fun. That's why I depend on the ABC 13 Houston app for hour-by-hour weather forecasts. It's convenient, it helps me plan my day and my training. I'm not lacing up without checking it first.
Retweet, share, like, swipe. I won't have time for that. In 2020, I'm going to take the 4,015 hours I spend in front of a screen and make them count. I'm going to put my ideas online and make 2020.
I, Marie, wish someone had told us that there are hundreds of affordable invitations
and save the dates
and thank yous on Zola.com.
Please scream #AlexGetsMaried.
Get 50% off Save the Dates, only at Zola.com.
I, Ava, wonder if our guests would be here on time.
If we had a custom wedding website.
Ours even matched our Zola invites. The whole thing was so freaking easy.
Free websites, registry, and invitations. Get started for free at Zola.com.
About 2-3 weeks into Noom, I saw a commercial on TV. I go, Noom should have me on the commercial because I eat candy and ice cream all day.
Noom is made for the real world.
I'm a third-generation candy maker.
It's so sustainable, and I don't have to deprive myself. It corrected all of the bad habits that I had fallen into.
From a both physical and mental standpoint, he's just healthier.
I taste candy every day for a living, and if I can lose weight on Noom, so can you. Visit Noom.com and change your life for good.
These new Fabletics feel amazing.
New year, do you feel Fabletics? New year, do you feel Fabletics?
Really good leggings. Get your first 2 pairs of leggings for just $24 at Fabletics.com. At Fabletics, our leggings are stylish and functional. And with sizes up to 4X, we have something for every body. Do yoga, do the gym, do you in Fabletics. Get your first 2 pairs of leggings for just $24 when you become a VIP member. Only at Fabletics.com.
Oh, hello. Casper is having a sale. Now you can save 10% on a Casper mattress for a limited time. So don't let another second go by. Grab one while you can and try not to hit snooze. Save 10% on an award-winning Casper mattress and try it for 100 nights, risk-free, with free shipping and returns. Visit Casper.com today.
For my new car smell, guys.
I first met Susie at the Fort Benfit Running Club, and we've been running together now for probably 20 years.
Running a marathon is a big commitment, but Susie and Dave Comstock have gone the distance together in more ways than one.
I was able to convince Susie to marry me at mile 20 at Heartbreak Hill during the Boston Marathon.
To pronounce you man and wife.
The couple has a long history with the world's most storied foot race.
I've run 9 Boston Marathons.
I have run 16 consecutive Boston Marathons. This picture was taken probably about 2 minutes before the first bomb went off.
For both of them, that includes 2013, the year tragedy struck Boston when 2 explosions blasted at the finish line.
Just before coming up to the finish line, the first bomb goes off. People in the stands start, screaming.
Susie had agreed we were going to meet just past the finish line. She was directly across in between the first and second bombs. So when Susie came across, we just kind of embraced.
But that wasn't the only challenge the couple faced that year.
We had just gotten through the Boston bombing. In August of 2013, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. After her diagnosis, she had her surgery in October. And remarkably, 3 months later, she ended up running the Houston Marathon. We ran that one together, and it was a very special one because it was her first marathon after breast cancer.
You ready for a run?
This year, the couple will be lacing up together again.
This will be my 9th Houston Marathon this year.
I'm running my 17th Houston Marathon, and overall it'll be my 97th marathon. Everybody's out there cheering. The crowds are fabulous. We sometimes think that we're a little crazy because we run, but it's fun. Crossing that finish line is fantastic.
And welcome back to our coverage of the Chevron Houston Marathon. You were just looking on the left-hand side of your screen. People are still getting started on the race this morning, but off to a quick start.
Yes, and we have Courtney Fisher, our reporter, at Kirby and Bissonnette between miles 6 and 7, where some of those leaders are coming up. And there you see on the map. Good morning to you, Courtney.
Good morning, Tom. We just saw the pack of elite runners pass up. Like Ted said, it is incredible to see them just flying in person. I got to show you right now a group of them coming up behind me. It is nothing like seeing them out here in person. So if you are near Kirby and Bissonnette, we are welcoming this pack now. You have got to get out here and see this. Unbelievable. And so far it's chilly, but that sun is coming up and it's making a huge difference. We're seeing people come out with their signs, their posters. And guys, this is my favorite group every year. They're always at this spot, these Bolivian dancers. Look at this. How do you not want to run this race and see these beautiful women who are so excited about be out here with their masks and their dancing? You guys are here every year, right?
Yes, this is our 4th year here.
Okay, so tell me why you always want to come out.
Yeah, we're the Grupo Folclórico Cantuta Houston, and we want to come out and support our runners. They're up here before the crack of dawn and running, and we want to show support.
And I think like Ted said, guys, it really makes such a difference for these runners when they get cheered on, they hear the music pumping. It is huge for them, right? That's what brings you back every year.
Yeah, totally. I mean, when they're running and we just want to give a little bit of support, that extra oomph for them, so definitely.
Awesome. So you don't mind the cold so much. It's a little chilly.
No, it's always cold, so we come prepared. But they're running, so.
Yeah, they're the ones working hard, and you are dressed for the weather, right?
Yes, definitely.
I love this. So guys, we again are at Bissonnette and Kirby right now, welcoming these marathoners as they make their way down. This is also an important corner because I don't know if you can see across the way, we've got a few of these booths set up, and these are the charity booths, the Run for a Reason booths. We've got our own Jazz Miller who's running in the marathon, raising money for cystic fibrosis. Since 1995, $30 million has been raised for Houston charities. Guys, that is incredible. So we've got a lot going on in this corner. It is so exciting out here to be here and watch these guys. We'll send it back to you, Tom.
I love it. All the hoopla along the route, Courtney. Thank you very much. Yeah, that Run for a Reason has been great over all these years. We do have a number of employees running. As Gina just mentioned, one of our producers, Justin Sternberg, is one of the guides. We've got reporter Jessica Willey, who's running the half marathon today, and a couple of other people. So
Chaz
we're going to be cheering them on all morning long. We're going to be looking for your relatives and friends as well.
So that's mile 6 and 7 you're looking at, but we want to go now to the split, mile 8, just before it. Pooja Lodia standing by live for us there right now. Pooja?
Well, Gina, it is cold out here, but the spirit is definitely keeping warm. Take a look around us. We have just over the past, I would say, 10 minutes or so, started seeing people show up. A lot of them have cute signs. A lot of them are really here to cheer on their loved ones. So yes, we are right now at the split. So this is the place where those doing the full and the half marathon split up. You can see a lot of people coming through right now, and we are actually expecting to see even some elite runners coming through here. Now you do go, I take it, it's this way, right? It's this way actually if you're doing the full marathon. And if you're doing the half marathon, you go this way. So of course a lot of these fans out here looking, for a little bit of both. I'm gonna actually cross the street because we can right now. And I'm coming over to talk to y'all because all of you have your Channel 13 signs. We actually just gave them to them. I didn't tell them they were gonna be on TV though, so sorry. So who were you here for? Tell me.
Jen Campa, she's a girlfriend that works with us. Pamela and I work together, and she's our marketing guru, so we're excited to see her come by.
That is wonderful. Why is this such a big deal? You think just so many people were coming this way to kind of get out of the way. Why do so many people come out here? Why are you here?
I think they cheer people on. People have worked so hard all year to reach their goal, and we want to be a part of it.
Great, fantastic. And you realize that y'all have to come over here. You're not doing this whole thing. We're not keeping you in the background. You got to explain to me who they are, what's going on.
Best cousins ever. This is Esther. It's her first half. And this is Matthew. It's his second full.
That is wonderful. And do they know that you have signs with their faces on them?
They do. They will.
Congratulations, and take a look. You're looking at some of those elite runners. These are the ones who are doing the half marathon, again, the full marathon. This is where things out here switch. We can see, gosh, just how quickly they are going down there. I mean, I cannot even imagine how they're going to keep all of this up. How's this dog holding up?
He's great.
The most beautiful dog in the world.
It's very exciting.
So tell us, sir, why you come out here. I see you got your coffee in there. I'm a little jealous.
Well, I'm here with her.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
But we live in the neighborhood, so we come out every year.
It really is inspiring to see these runners here, right? I mean, just take a look. And again, I know we've been talking about this all morning, just how good the weather out here is. It is cold out here, but gosh, look at this. I mean, he is focused. He is going, not letting any of this distract him. But of course, we are seeing a lot of people out here with signs, really cheering everybody on. Let's keep walking. Let's go on a little bit back here. You can see a lot of people even live in this neighborhood. They just came out just to, cheer on some fans. And there you go. Even more of these runners. But I'm going to toss it back to you from the split.
Pooja, thank you so much. Looks like a great time out there at the split. Yeah.
Called the split because that's where they split off. The half marathoners go straight ahead, and the marathoners make their way all the way up.
That if you're a halfer, you don't get in the wrong.
We've had a couple of problems with that.
Those aren't accidents sometimes.
Yeah. We are joined now by a guy who knows how to run.
Yeah, absolutely.
He just ran for re-election and won handily. So, the mayor of Houston, Sylvester Turner, welcome.
Good morning, Tom.
A little chilly out here.
It's a little chilly, and then look, happy birthday again.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you. And we got a heater under here this morning because Gina Gaston needed.
Is that right? That's all right. I got some hand warmers.
You and I
I'm not shaking.
But it's a beautiful day to run.
Yeah,
it's great. Biggest single day of sporting events in the city of Houston all year long. It's so much fun.
It's incredible, and this year is special because the marathon is gold level. And the half marathon has received that gold level status. And this is the only race in the world where both the marathon and the half marathon have received that designation gold level and both being run on the same day. It's incredible.
very special event for our city. So much work goes into putting this together behind the scenes. We have great corporate sponsors, but a lot of people from the city of Houston, a lot of employees.
Thank you,
work
Gina.
that people don't see.
And look, and this is an opportunity for me to give a very special shout out to the city's own people, Susan Christian and her organization with special events. They've been doing this thing for years and years and years.
You mean Susan Christian, HOF? That's Susan Christian?
Susan Christian, Mayor Special Events, City of Houston, and her incredible team. And you know, it's not a lot of people, but they just do an incredible job. You would think that there are probably like 100 people in that office, but it's less than 20.
Wow.
And they cover this event and all the parades that's taking place. For example, this weekend, they're doing it all. But I do want to give a special shout out to Chevron. They've been sponsoring this marathon for 15 years.
15 years, yes.
Aramco has been sponsoring the half marathon for 16 years. 7,000 plus employees, you know, handling this deal. And then since 1995, this marathon has raised about $31 million plus. And on this one, 65 different charities. And we have people coming representing 52 countries and 50 states. So it's an incredible single-day event, and it's an excellent way after, you know, we've had our challenges with sports over the last week. And
yes, we have.
I was hoping the Texans were going to be playing today.
But that would have been a bit of a mess in the city of Houston, wouldn't it, if the Texans were at home?
We'd have worked it out, Tom.
I know,
okay?
I know.
We'd have worked that out.
But I think we talked about that before. That would really have been I mean, all the security and everything else involving the team and then the marathon. I mean, it would have been a great day.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But today, the single largest sporting event, you know, in the city, with this marathon, half marathon, a lot of coordination. I want to give us another shout out to law enforcement, Houston Police Department,
a lot of officers,
and look to my public works crew.
Yes.
The municipal workers.
Yes.
You know, they're out there, you know, making sure that there are no potholes on the trail, things of that nature. So the Houston Public Work employees are just incredible. And then let me just thank you all. You all have just been fantastic at covering this marathon.
Well, we have
every
as much
single
fun
year.
as the runners, honestly.
You know, part of going back to being a gold event is the fact that people can see this all over the world. So for people who are tuning in all over the world, it's great for them to get a chance to see such a great representation of our city, and like you say, the workers who help make it possible.
Well, you know, this week we had 4,600 tweets in town. The Twitter conference was here. The CEO was in town with all of his people, and they were coming from all over the globe, and they were tweeting things out, and then a lot of positive impressions. And then now, of course, for the marathon to be here with runners coming from all over the world, and the exposure that's taking place, it just benefits Houston on so many levels. Economically, we benefit from it. The positive impressions, and then to have the gold level status. New York can't say that, LA can't say that, Chicago, and no other city in the world can say that. Only H-Town, City of Houston.
It's terrific.
So it's a wonderful way to start the first year of another decade.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for those of you who are watching this today, inspired to run next year, we'll get into maybe how you train for a year out, but those of you also inspired to come out and see it, volunteer next year. We got 7,000 volunteers, and you couldn't do it without the volunteers. You couldn't pay people enough.
I don't care.
You don't have enough money, I should say.
There's not enough money. There are not enough people. 7,000 incredible volunteers that give up their time every single year. And mind you, this is not the only thing they do. I mean, they're volunteering on other things. But if you ask people to step up, Houstonians step up.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great with the corporate sponsors. They give money, but they also give personnel. Their employees.
There's no way you can put on this type of event without the personnel, without the volunteers. And many of them bring other family members. You know, so they don't just come themselves; they bring other people. And then, of course, on a Sunday morning early, you know, and so it really makes you Houston proud.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Well, Mayor, thank you. We'll let you go to the finish
us.
line and greet those half marathoners as they come in. We're about
I'm looking forward
20 minutes
to
away.
it.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you. And we also want to congratulate again Susan Christian for making it in the Hall of Fame for the Houston Marathon.
That's right. Susan Christian is a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
So
she has her jacket on today.
No, we
I have one of those jackets.
Okay, we want to head out to
have a great Sunday.
David Nuno. He's at the starting line with the last runner starting.
That is right, Gina. Callum Neff here with me. Callum, kind of explain the process here. You're the last runner starting, so that means you got to pass everybody all for a good cause.
That's right. So I was chosen by the Houston Marathon Foundation this year to be the last runner to cross the start line. And yeah, I got a lot of passing to do today, and each person I pass will earn a pledge for the Houston Marathon Foundation.
Now, you're an amazing runner, but I got to give you some props for other things you've done also. You got a world record for running with a stroller with 2 of your children.
Yeah, so I was a runner, became a dad, and I kind of combined the two to keep, the love going for running and show my kids what I do. And yeah, I was able in 2016 to push my middle daughter Holly to a world record in the Katy Half Marathon just down the road in a 1 hour 11 minutes, and 2:31 with my eldest Allie at Toronto. So yeah, really special moments to share with my kids.
Congratulations and good luck to you today.
Thank you very much.
All right, Cal. All right, let's go back to Tom and Gina.
On the left, you see the men's half marathon leaders, and we're going to check with John Warren, track coach of Rice University, who's our expert in all things running. Where are we so far in this race?
They are under course record pace. They are flying out there. So right now they could possibly, if the wind doesn't hit them down Montrose, they could. So it doesn't look like the wind does, but they could break 59 minutes. They are really going out there in the half marathon.
And remind me, the course record is what?
59:22.
59:22.
Fourth fastest time ever run in the United States, and they're on pace for that.
Oh, that'd be great.
The women's marathon is the key right now. She is running 2:20 pace. She is.
She is on the left-hand side of your screen.
And that's Escala Marachi, I think I pronounced it.
Oh, okay. So Maya no longer is.
No, that in the overall marathon. That's a marathon. Okay. And Maya's still on 65:30. Nia's still on 65:30 pace. She hasn't slowed down at all. I'm still curious where Carolyn is and where the other and Aga and the favorites are. Nia is not one of the. She's not bad, obviously, but she's not one of the favorites to be in this to win it. And right now, on at least on camera, we haven't been able to see anybody in her screen.
When I first brought her up, we could see her on the screen there on the left, but we don't have that shot. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more coverage of the Chevron Houston Marathon, Aramco Half Marathon in a moment.
What goes into a butcher box? 100% grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, heritage breed pork, and so much more. All with free shipping right to your door. Visit butcherbox.com to learn more.
Where have you been? Take it all in. Miles and miles away. The air is magic. Breathing, grabbing. We'll be happy, happy today. Feels so good again. I just wanna dance. And I don't want it any other way. 'Cause I'm happy today.
San Diego. Happiness is calling.
moccasins.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Achilles. So I've been volunteering with the marathon for 6 marathons now. I had started a nonprofit called Achilles International, the Houston chapter. It's a nonprofit that helps people with disabilities participate in sports. They all wanted to run or wheel the marathon, and when I reached out to the marathon to say, can these hand cyclists and wheelchairs do this, they didn't really have a category or a place for them. So I said, if I help design this division for them, can they participate? Through that kind of partnership is how I started volunteering with the marathon.
She's the one who actually got me off my butt again, being mobile. Saved my life.
And so we all meet together as a group and hang out and run, and there's a lot of camaraderie and sometimes beers afterwards. So the program itself has grown immensely. Our very first year, we had 10 hand cyclists, and we now have a hand cycle division, a wheelchair division, a visually impaired division, and a mobility impaired division.
We look forward to coming out here on the weekends to socialize and to work out, and she provided a place for us to do that. Thank you, and thank you for all that you do for us. And had she not done this, I would probably be sitting on the couch in pain, in a world of depression.
Every single year when the gun goes off and I get to see all of these athletes that have trained so well to get there, I cry every year. So it's really rewarding and fun and exciting.
Been like a rock. Every time you need her, she's there.
And those are just some of the volunteers, 7,000 in all, that help put on this race every year and help inspire people. And welcome back to our coverage, Tom Cook, along with Gina Gaston and John Warren, the track coach at Rice University, the men's track coach. And we are doing incredibly well in the half marathon, the men's.
Yeah, the men still have this massive pack. You can see it on the camera. There's it looks like there's at least 10 guys, 8, 9 guys in this pack, and they're approaching mile 11. They're right at that 59:22 pace. So what'll probably happen is they'll slow down just a little bit, then they'll make the turn. If the wind's not on their face, and make the turn on the Parkway, and they start racing. You could see a really fast last mile, and the record's very much in jeopardy.
Okay, the record 59:22. Keep that in mind. That's what we want to beat today, and we have a pack that could beat it, right? Both in the marathon and the women's half marathon.
Looking at Nia
right
there.
Nia is just totally interesting to me. She is not someone on paper that should be doing what she's doing. She's running out of her mind, but she, like I mentioned earlier, she has not run a half marathon in like 8, 9 years.
This is a Japanese
runner, but been cranking out really good 10Ks. So she's got her own rabbit, and they're on pace to run the Japanese record. The official record's like 67:26. There's an unofficial downhill record that she's actually on pace to beat as well. And this one will count as its a legal record.
So John, explain to people who aren't runners what a rabbit is, what their job is, and you mentioned she has her own rabbit. What is he doing for her?
He becomes her brain. He's actually obviously better than she is, so he can run it at a nice, controlled, even pace the whole time and pull her along. So it looks like she's getting antsy though, but he's going to try to keep her at the rhythm she wants to go. It's a little bit like cycling when you draft, not near as extreme of a difference as cycling, but it's a little bit better when you sit right behind somebody.
I want to take a look at the perspective, because on the left you see them running, and it looks like they're fast, but when you look from sky eye, they're flying.
Oh yeah,
they're flying up overhead. It's like, my gosh, they're sprinting.
Looks like a full sprint. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The course record would be about a 4:31 per mile for 13 of them. So for most of us, that is sprinting. That's a 67 second 400, and they're doing that for 100 of them. I mean, it's amazing.
So going back to the rabbits for a moment, we talked about what her rabbit's doing for her, but in general, for marathons, for half marathons, elite races like this, they hire these runners.
Yes.
To do what in general?
To set the pace. Like you'll see over here on that's the men's half. I think the rabbits are gone now.
Okay.
But their job is to get you to a certain point in the race. Because what happens is you don't want to be the leader in the race, and because it's much more difficult to lead than to be dragged along. So what will happen is if you don't have a rabbit, and some elite races do that, it's just a slower race. The rabbit will get you through. They're supposed to bring them through 27:50 through the 10K, which is silly fast.
Yeah.
And then they're on their own.
And those runners get paid to come and do that.
They get paid to do that. Some do that for a living.
And sometimes they win the race.
They do. Yeah, and that usually because they're better athletes than the people that they're rabbiting. And that is not going to happen here. I looked up all the rabbits. They're really good, but they're not good enough to beat these guys.
Okay.
And right now in this men's race, they are I mean, simply put, you can tell by watching it. The race is on.
Yeah.
They're looking around. They're not just sitting on each other. They're struggling to hang on. So guys are trying to set themselves up for the finish because they're going through a little bit of rolliness at Allen Parkway. But Abel is trying to break away from these guys at this point. The guy on our left, I can't read his number, is struggling to hang on in the white jersey. So it'll be interesting.
Fell back.
Yeah, he'll try. But what he can do though, and this is where the pack helps, he can get in and sit behind somebody. You do that for 30 seconds or a minute, you actually recover a little bit. So unless they just fall off the pack, and you'll see a 5 or 10 meter gap, and then they're done. Usually, then everybody's involved in this.
That drafting makes that much of a difference. Taking a breather behind somebody so you don't have the wind.
It's just a little bit easier behind there. And also, sometimes it helps you shorten your stride and lets you get in control of yourself a little bit. Okay. It's not, like I said, it's not like cycling, though, where it's a huge difference.
Huge difference.
This is like 5 to 10%, where cycling is like 30%.
Now, you just said they're trying to set up what happens next year as they approach mile 12. Are they thinking, when do I make my kick, or what do I do when I get 300 yards from the finish line and I'm still in the pack?
Well, what they're wondering is, some of these guys are wondering, do I have somebody in this field?
Do I have the gas left?
He's like, I know I'm the fastest guy out here. Pure leg speed. I'm going to sit back and wait for that last 300 meters. Others are in that field going, I know I'm not the fastest guy out here. So if I'm going to win this, I've got to break these guys early.
Now.
Yeah. Now, there's also a small incentive to not break up because they got all those time bonuses. So there's money involved just for finishing well. So they're going to pull each other through. Every now and then you'll see a race where somebody's leading and has led for a while, and there'll be somebody who sits on them, and they never even try to outkick them because they're just so happy to be pulled through that time. I don't think that's going to happen here. I think there's going to be a great race. I think it's going to get really interesting in the next few minutes.
Where are they right now getting the course?
They're probably 5 to 5.5 minutes to go. So they're coming up on
mile 12.
Yeah, they should be right at 12 now.
At 12, okay.
And you are looking now at the women's half on your left, the men's half marathon on the right. We have one woman who is out in front. This is that Japanese runner we've been telling you about, who John said was not expected to do what she is doing today, but she is certainly keeping up with her rabbit. That's the guy on the right. And I saw him looking around to see if anyone was behind him, and then this guy came up on the back.
So she's also trying to get a Japanese record, I think you said, right?
Yes, she's going for the Japanese half record. What's kind of interesting, and it's a gender difference, is you'll notice with the men, no matter, they'll sit right behind you. Mm-hmm. And I think it's something that they even see in college a lot. The women will get on your shoulder. They don't like to get in that line. And you'll see men's races, they're lined up in a perfect straight line. I don't know if one's being nice or the other one's how that works out, but it's always interesting to watch.
I love that.
Like, she wants to stay on his shoulder, and I can hear that you might see them get back in the line at some point.
Yeah, and
we showed a 20-mile-per-hour
clock
graphic a moment ago. Is that how fast they're running? 20 miles an hour? What was that? Okay, well I'll await that. I'll await that reply.
See, when they spread out like this, this is when they're really getting antsy. Yeah, they are.
They're running just at 13 miles an hour.
Right.
13 miles in 60 minutes, right. So it's just over 13 miles an hour if they finish it in under 60.
Right, remember 15 miles an hour is 4 flat mile pace.
Right.
So it could put it in that range. But when they start spreading out like that, that's when they're getting ready to go. It's like, have you ever watched the Tour de France? They'll be in those perfectly straight lines.
Yeah.
And when it gets ready to roll, they take up the whole road.
Away, yeah.
That's what they're getting ready to do.
Get your room.
Somebody's about to make a massive move.
And that overhead shot from Skya, you can tell some of the guys are struggling. The guy in the white jersey, he looks as though he's still trying to keep up right there.
Yeah.
Right there at the back of the pack.
He doesn't look near as comfortable.
No, it's just a comfort level, right? That you feel at the end you can keep your arms swinging in a fashion that keeps you moving.
Yeah, and what he'll do is like he knows that for him to beat, say, the guy that just fell off, as hard as it is, if I stay here for one more minute, if I stay, and you talk your way through it, if I stay here one more minute, I may not beat these guys I'm with, but I'll beat that guy behind me. Because if he falls off, and that could be it.
This is a mind game, isn't it?
Yeah, you're convincing yourself you can do it.
Haven't we all been there in a workout where you're like, you have to make that decision, and you...
Right.
I mean, every runner has to, at some point, talk themselves into the next level.
But every now and then, like if he stays and just stares at the guy in the white jersey, stares at the guy in front of him, just stays there and stays there, he might get to 300 meters to go and go, you know what, I feel pretty good.
I can make it.
Yeah, it can, as long as you're in it. But I mean, so none of these guys look terrible. I mean, some years we've seen like the arms drop, and they don't look terrible yet.
Pretty close to the official
three men
time.
in the same colored training uniform. They're all from the same country.
It means they're sponsored by Nike. That's a Nike uniform.
By Nike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a lot of people from Ethiopia, and if it was a country.
No, they're usually they have shoe sponsors or some other type.
And we are seeing those shoes. We are.
Yeah.
We are, and we're going to talk about those coming up right after the half marathon. We'll give you an idea of what kind of advantage those shoes actually give people. On the clock, 57 minutes now. We are trying to break 59:22 and set a brand new Houston Marathon half marathon record.
He's a pacer too. We got 2 pacers running with her.
In this race here, they came through the 12-mile mark on a sub 59 pace. I mean, they're running that.
Wow.
I think if the splits are correct that I just got, they will.
59.
Their record's gone.
59.
Really?
59-22. It looks like they're going to get the record. This is going to be a tremendous showing.
Okay, why did
all right, here they
the
come.
right now.
Finish line right behind us, and we're going to have this finish in less than a minute now.
It should be about a minute or so. This is going to be amazing.
And do we know who's leading the pack as of yet?
It looks Jamal Yimmer's leading this pack. He's the one with the 58:33.
And he's the one who lost it last year.
Yeah.
Came in second.
My goodness. Number 46 is Jeffrey Koech. He's fallen off a little bit. There's Bernard Nagano. Looks like he's going to try to make a move. He doesn't look good right now, so it'd be really interesting if Nagano. Yeah, he looks like he's trying to hang on.
Yeah.
Yimmer looks great. The other three look like they're struggling. That doesn't mean he's going to win, but he looks really good right now.
And Shira Katatu is not in there anymore. Is
He's not in there at all.
He's who won it here last year, and Jamal Yimmer placed second in the race.
Look at this is amazing. All those guys could break 59 or get really close to it.
Wow.
Remember, only one man in this field, and that's the leader right now, has ever broken 59. The others run 59:07 to 59:50.
So they may be running the race of their life and still end up 4th.
Wow.
Well, somebody's going to run the race of their life and not even be in the prize money. He'll be in the bonus money, but he won't be in the prize money.
All right, time to beat 59:22, and we're just about 30 seconds away from that.
They should be coming in our sight. Oh, it's going to be close. They're not going to make. They're not going to break 59.
They are not.
We should be able to see them by now if they're going to do that.
All right, we got 22 seconds for a new record.
I hope I didn't get excited for no reason.
It happens to me all the time.
They just made the turn.
Can they do it? 59:06. He knows he's coming to break a record.
He's got 12 seconds.
He's trying to pump it up.
He is just going to miss it or make it. Here we go. We'll see it.
Smiling.
Jamal Yimmer of Ethiopia, and he's going to cross it right at, either 1 second there or just on
1,
time.
2, 3, 4.
It was at 59:23.
It sure was.
Unofficially.
And I felt like he slowed down at the end. I'm like, do you know how close?
What a race. What a race.
Beautiful run, though. Beautiful run.
Yeah, that could have cost him money for a bonus there.
There's 8 or 9 people that broke 60. Last year was running 60:08. The year before 60:01. And at least 8 guys broke 60 today.
All right, here's one of the members of the hand cyclists, and we have a number of them running today. I think 18 hand cyclists, and they are coming in. And then wheelchair runners, 4 of them. There's our first finisher in the hand cyclist, and our winner in the wheelchair race right behind him. And another pack of men that are coming in really, really close. This is the half marathon once again. We have an unofficial time of 59:23 is what I saw. 50. But if he hit the tape at just a second.
There's Nia there. She does have 2 pacers of her own.
Right. and she's still not sitting behind either one.
No.
So where's the rest of the pack of women? They're way behind.
We haven't seen them all day.
They haven't been
we
close
haven't seen
at all.
the other women all day.
And she's running well, but she's not running things that Chepkoech couldn't run or Aga couldn't run. I mean, let me see if I can find the last split.
Well, this is 65:50 is the course record here, and that's what we're looking for today, for her to beat 65:50, just under 66 minutes, an hour and 6 minutes.
Yeah, she's got 5 minutes time to spare for that.
And she's on 66:26 pace right now, which is a minute better than the official record, and actually under that unofficial record. That the unofficial means there's a downhill course or something.
Okay.
It's not a fair thing to do it. An official course has to start within a short start and finish close together, and then not have an elevation drop very much.
But the course record here, 65:50.
Right, and she's not going to get. She's faded from that a little bit.
Okay.
But she's still way under a minute under right now, predicting under what the Japanese record's going to be.
Can you tell by looking at her how she feels?
She looks the same as she did earlier in the race. I mean, she looks the same form, no real breakdown.
Oh, this is amazing. She is out of the pack all by herself, way out ahead.
Here's like your American pack coming in.
The American half marathoners cross the finish line now.
I mentioned earlier that 62 minutes, how good 62 minutes was.
This is 61.
This is, look how happy like Brogan is. He runs 61:50. That is such a good time. Matt Lano, I mean, these are PRs across the board. These are massive PRs.
Oh, they're all hugging.
Yeah, PR is a personal record. I mean, this is 61 minutes wins this. Used to win this some
used
years.
to win it.
Now you're
Not
like
long
talking
ago.
about 20th, 25th. And again, they all got time bonuses.
The time bonus is at what point again?
I think it's under 62.
Under 62, okay, yeah.
61 minutes in 2014. 61:25, so many of them broke that today easily. Wow.
I love the camaraderie, though, with each other as they cross the finish line and give each other a hand.
You're not competing with each other anymore when you're going for time.
Hitomi Nia, the leader in the women's half marathon, as you look on the left of your screen, on the right, the finish line. And there is the winner right there, Jamal Yimmer.
No, 61:30 was the last time bonus. So a bunch of guys got that, but not everybody that we just saw.
Okay, and we're still waiting to see whether Jamal Yimmer actually set a new record here. We thought he crossed the finish line just a second behind 59:22, but we will see in terms of the official. And on the left,
he was so close.
He was so close.
He did. He slowed down at the end. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Well, you can see the clock. It's a huge clock, and you're running toward it.
Yeah.
Okay, now you can see there's a little distress in her face, but she's only got 3 minutes to go. She's going to get that record. She's on pace to go 66:32.
And is he talking to her? He is talking to her, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's saying, come on, you can do it?
Yes, he's able to encourage her along.
John, I do not see any women close to her
I know,
at all.
we just haven't seen a woman all day.
Right, and like I said, they've run, well, this time she's going to run is just outstanding. I mean, if she runs in the 66:30s, it'll put her in the top 5 ever run in the United States, in the USA.
Hitomi Nia trying to set a new Japanese
and I just
record
can't
as well.
believe she hasn't run in years, hasn't run this event in years.
Trying to come under 66 minutes.
66:39 is the fastest, third fastest ever run in the United States. So she's on track to be one of the best ever.
And here she comes.
I heard them announcing
maybe a minute or two away
her
here.
Name, to the crowd behind us, so I know she's coming into sight.
She's probably got a couple more minutes till we see her.
Okay.
And
she is hammering right now.
And we are actually looking at another pace cam you don't see on screen of the women's half, and there isn't a woman anywhere near her, maybe not even 300 or 400 yards behind her. Great shot from Sky Eye this morning as she comes into downtown Houston, just about a minute away from an incredible finish in the women's half marathon here. This Aramco half marathon has just produced some exciting finishes in the last couple of years, John.
Oh, yeah. This one's not going to be an exciting finish because she's just dominating this field so much.
Well,
it's exciting for her and her family.
It is exciting for her.
Oh, this is to go for
and perhaps all of Japan.
A 13-year-old record. The unofficial record was set like in 1998.
Oh,
this is like a 20-something-year-old record. She breaks an unofficial record.
65:50.
How do you go from not even running this event in 7 years and then just dominate
She
like
just
that?
focused on the track for a while and put up some really, really good track times.
Now you see the guys turning around, encouraging her. Both of them talking to her now.
Oh yeah,
come on, keep it going.
This is a training run for them. I mean, to be fair, that's what they're out there for. But they're trying to talk her into like, hey, you know how close it is. And she's probably thinking, please don't talk. I'm okay. I'm not very comfortable right now, but this is still really good.
All right, Hitomi Nia just about 30 seconds away from her own record, the Japanese record in the half marathon for women.
You can see how fast she's still going, though.
What I would be telling her is like, you see that guy in yellow? You see that guy in yellow? Go get that guy in yellow. I mean, you're like anything to get her to focus on the very short term. Don't be saying things like, are you hurting?
How are your feet?
Yeah. So they'll stop here in a second to get out of the way normally. He's directing where she's going to go.
Yeah. And making sure she stays on course. She went around the wrong cone.
Oh, can't tell you how confusing it is to finish one of these things. You're not the brightest person in the world.
Mentally, you're just fatigued.
Oh yeah, you have an IQ of about 12.
Yeah. And here she comes behind us now.
All right, we're not going to get a new record, but this is an exciting race for her.
This will be the Japanese record, though.
She's smiling now.
This is.
Yay.
106.37.
That breaks the official and the unofficial record. So
It breaks the official and unofficial record.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
and that's now the legal record for Japan. And I'm just curious how far behind everybody else is. And that also makes her the third fastest
There she is.
half marathon ever run in the United States.
The third fastest?
The third fastest.
Wow.
That now makes nine of the top 10 best half marathons for women ever run in the United States have been run here over the years.
Here in Houston. Wow.
This is normal. What's not normal is that the other runners aren't in sight yet.
Yeah.
Because they weren't on camera from the gun.
This is a big split between her and the rest of the females.
And very surprising.
All right.
Very surprising.
Bob Slovak now with Jamal Yimmer of Ethiopia, our winner of the men's half marathon. Bobby?
Yeah, Tom, we were here with Jamal, who sprinted to the finish, second time running here in Houston. What was it like? What were the conditions like today?
Yeah, it's good condition. The best running in Addis Ababa, high altitude, and Houston altitude and Addis altitude are the same.
You had you great pace right at the course record mark. You had 4 other guys sprinting with you. What was the finish like coming in that last mile?
Pace is good, and
የመጨረሻው ላይ ሰዎች ሲደግፉ ምን ስሜት ተሰማ?
I'm happy.
Just happy?
Yes.
Did you know did it feel like you were running that fast?
በጣም እንደምትሮጥ ይሰማህ ነበር ወይ?
Yes, good. Yeah.
Not a personal best for you though, not a PR. Not a PR for him. He's run faster.
ያንተ ዋናው ሪኮርድ አይደለም አይደለም? ከዚህ የተሻለ ሮጠህ ታውቃለህ?
Yes. I PB 58.33 and from in Ethiopia national record holder.
Okay, great. Let's have the folks from Aramco come in and present the belt buckle for us.
Congratulations on behalf of Aramco. We congratulate you in your class record. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Jimmer.
Thank you.
There you have it. Half marathon winner, close to a course record, Tom.
All right, Bob, congratulations to him. Of course, he was the guy who raced his best last year and ended up second place. But this year, he is right there, first at the finish line.
Yeah, it was an awesome run for him. Glad to see him finish so well. And as we showed you a minute ago, an awesome run for a runner who came here from Japan to set a record for her country and did so.
Okay, now, John, here we see women in the half marathon finally coming across the finish line.
I've seen several pass over now.
This is Wanjuri's run here a number of years and placed really well. She may have placed well today. And some of the Americans, that's a great run for Seidel. To be sub 70. This is a great run for Alfine Tiamook. These are good runs by the Americans, breaking 70.
We're going to take a short break and come back with more from the finish line in just a moment.
Texas weather-tested meteorologist, community leader, and parent who understands that your safety matters. That's why Travis Herzog is our chief meteorologist. Now weeknights at 5, 6, and 10 on 13.
5 meteorologists matter.
Several inches of rain
and advanced warnings because your safety
Category
matters.
3 storm with the latest
When it comes to predicting severe weather, ABC 13's AccuWeather team matters.
Meteorologist David Tillman loves tracking storms so much, he chases them. And with the knowledge and experience he has, after more than 2 decades tracking severe weather on the Gulf Coast, we're proud to call David our chief forecaster. Only on ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
back to the Chevron Houston Marathon Aramco Half Marathon. I'm here with the women's half marathon winner, Hitomi Nia from Japan. Congratulations. We're going to help with the help of an interpreter, ask her a few questions. She was emotional at the finish. What was that like?
ゴールインしたらかなり感動したような雰囲気だった。どういう気持ちでした？すごい嬉しかったです。日本記録が出せて嬉しかったです。I was super happy to win, super happy to get the Japanese national record.
First time running here in Houston, ran a great race, a very fast pace. What was it like along the route?
今回は初ヒューストンハーフマラソンとなりました。前半かなり速いペースでいたと思います。どういうレースでした？
日本からのペースメーカーだけじゃなく、外人のペースメーカー、外人の選手たちも協力してくれてペース作ってくれたんで、すごいいい条件で走れました。
I brought a friend from Japan to pace, but all of the local guys who were in the race also kind of gathered around and supported me and really helped me along. So I really appreciated getting the help from all the locals and from the crowds along the course as well.
It's safe to say she loves running in Houston.
ヒューストンは大好きでしょう。
大好きです。I love you. I love Houston.
That's awesome. I love the smile of the folks from Aramco here with the winning belt buckle.
Congratulations on behalf of Aramco. Good job. Good job. Good job.
There you have it. The smile says it all. Congratulations. The half marathon winner.
I bet she does love Houston.
Oh, you got it. Wow, what a race that was. And so far ahead of the rest of the pack this morning. Yeah. Well, we are joined here on the set by Alma Kambarji, who is the Director of Brand Strategy here for Aramco. And good morning to you.
Good
morning. What a show you're putting on today.
Oh my gosh, we're breaking all sorts of records.
I love it. I love it.
Everything worked out. The weather, the runners. We've been very lucky.
Yep. Tell us a little bit about why Aramco likes sponsoring this event.
Well, it's our favorite time of the year, really. It kicks off a year long of community involvement for us. But this is just, look at the energy and the amazing athletes. And what I love about it, it gets together the old and the young and the volunteers and the athletes and, you know, everybody together. It just makes it happen.
I'm hesitant to even call people old who at 83 are running marathons.
Right. We have an 89-year-old running the half marathon today.
Oh, I didn't know that.
89 years old.
89 running the
That's
marathon.
very inspiring.
83
it is
running
inspiring.
the half.
Do you have a number of employees running today?
We have 78 employees running, and we had over 220 volunteers throughout the weekend helping out. We love, like I said, we love this event. It's our favorite event. It's so upbeat.
Well, you've been with us 16 years.
We have been. We love being involved with the community, and so we keep coming back. Every year we keep coming back. Hopefully, we're trying to grow the race. This year is our second year to sponsor the 5K. So 16 years on the half and 2 years on the 5K.
Well, congratulations, and we certainly appreciate your contribution to this event and to our community.
Thank you. Thank you. We love being involved.
Alma Kambarji of Aramco, and thank you. Let's make it 17 next year, okay?
All right.
Okay. Get a commitment ahead of time. All right, Courtney Fisher is live now, and she is at mile, Courtney is at mile 6 and 7. Good morning to you once again, Courtney.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, this is awesome. Now we're seeing the huge amount of runners come up. And actually, Chaz Miller was just running. You're running the marathon, the full marathon.
I am. And, you know, like I feel good at 6 miles in, but then you realize there's 26 or 20 to go, and then you don't feel so good anymore.
You might recognize Chaz. Obviously, he does a lot of our localish stuff, which is so awesome that he took the time to stop. I'm sorry, you have a lot more to go.
No, it's okay.
But you're raising money.
Break.
That's good. Okay, I like it. You're raising money for cystic fibrosis, right?
I am, yeah. It's a lung disease. My mom worked there when I was a kid, and I got some friends that have a kid with cystic fibrosis, so I thought it'd be a good way to do something I like, which is running, and then raise a little bit of money at the same time.
So awesome. If you haven't checked out that story, actually, it's up on abc13.com. The child that Chaz interviewed, it's such an incredible story. We are at the corner where there are a lot of these charities that runners are raising money for. Cystic fibrosis, of course, just one of them.
And that's one of the cool things. Like I got this bottle of water from a charity back around mile 4. And it's just cool to see charities and people and runners and non-runners kind of get together and have a good day. It's really one of my favorite days of the year, despite having to run 26.2 miles.
You're right, but it's a gorgeous day to do it.
Yeah, it feels good.
And you've got a lot more to go, so we'll let you go now.
All right, thanks, Courtney.
Okay, bye, guys. And I think we have Chaz's story up. I think my producers are telling us. So we're going to toss to that now, and we'll send you out with that.
Well, you're watching the leaders now in the men's marathon, and we will get to Chaz Miller's story in just a few minutes here because he really is one of our inspiring employees going out there and running for a reason. As we've been telling you all day long, we've raised more than $33 million so far in the Run for a Reason in the last, 20 years since it started. Yes, something like that. So what an incredible race. Now, here are the leaders in the men's marathon, and we've got John Warren checking that out. But now we are joined on the set by Mr. Marathon. Mr. Marathon, Meb Kezleski. Boy, you are all over the place here these days. The only guy to have won the Boston, the New York Marathon, and an Olympic medal. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Hey,
great to be here in
nice to have
Houston
you back.
always.
What do you think of the race so far, the half marathon?
The half marathon was fast. It was great. You know, it was a very tight finish for the men, and obviously the woman, the Japanese girl, just ran away from it early on. But sometimes you got those dark horses coming and making names for themselves. But it's always just great. The weather was nice, ideal here, and it was a lot of fast times.
We want to check in for a moment, John, to see where we are looking right now on the course.
The most exciting thing going on right now is the women's full, where Escala Americai is running 2:20s right now, running a 2:20 marathon. That's a course record by 3 minutes at this pace. Just like in the half, there's nobody in sight of her now, and that happens when you run a 2:20. She's just that far out of the field. The men's marathon is running about 2:06:30. They're slow. They're kind of playing right at that course record pace right now. They're holding 4:49, 4:50, 4:48, and they're spreading out a little bit. The rabbit in that race, that pacer, is doing a phenomenal job pulling along. And you've got the favorite in the race was Kekele Gezahane, and he's right up there with it. And a late entry, Emmanuel is right behind him. And there's a few folks in sight back there. I think it's what looks like is happening on the women's side. You're having this one great performance, everyone falling off. On the men's side, I think you're going to be right at or just slower than the course record. But a whole bunch of guys are running really, really fast.
Yeah, it seems like a good day for running.
The weather's always great here in Houston, and people train through the holidays, and they want to start kick off the year really great here, and they've been training, and the weather cooperates. They're ready to go and show their fitness. And patience though is a virtue. Yeah. As we saw last year here, something really bad happened at the end, and you got to be able to just measure yourself and know that how much energy you have left. And obviously the men are doing that, and then the woman is up on the front by herself, and you gotta measure right because the weather is chilly, but you don't want to get hypothermia and things like that. You gotta be careful with calorie intake and all that stuff.
Yeah. As I said, you were one of the most decorated runners in United States history. 23 national championships, 2004 silver medal at the Olympics there. The only guy to have won Boston, New York, and an Olympic medal. When you watch this, what goes through your mind? Does this just bring all that back?
It does. It definitely does bring it back. To be here, win the trials, and then, even when you're walking around, you got that eager that the great memories. But you see your fellow competitors here. They're, you see them walking around and kind of saying hi, and then when the gun goes off, you are be able to say, hey, see what their secrets are and see what their talents are. And you have to be careful, measure. I keep saying it, but you got to measure right because 26 marathons, 26 miles, a lot of things can go wrong. Yeah. And with the weather a little bit windy, you got to cover up and keep warm.
We want to have you stand by, of course, but we want to head out to Ted Oberg, our reporter, who's out there on the course. Ted?
Hey, as a sometimes runner, to stop Meb to listen to me I'm not certain that's the best decision. But this is a great morning. These are about 5-hour marathoners. They are out for a great run. It's getting a little colder, I'm not going to lie to you. From the start until now, the wind has definitely picked up, and it is definitely colder. I've seen some runners throw down some of their now expired hand warmers. How you guys feeling? Still a happy bunch out here. You feeling all right?
Great.
So, and how's the course?
It's beautiful. It's a great day. Perfect.
And for someone who's not out on the course yet to come watch you run, should they come out and see this?
Absolutely. We can use the fans. You just stay with me. We'll get you going.
All right. Well, we've got 22 miles left. All right, guys. I gotta go. See you later.
Hey, Corey. Hello. How's it going? It's Uncle Chris. So Corey is my great niece, and she means the world to us, and she's affected by this disease, MLD. Thanks for taking care of sweet Corey. I'm gonna use my running as that mechanism to be able to help her out.
Chris is my uncle, and Chris is just an amazing person. He's one of my best friends in the whole world. He started Run Over MLD.
So I decided to come up with this crazy idea to run on all 7 continents and do a marathon there, and to raise awareness and raise some funding and support.
Corey was diagnosed with MLD, metachromatic leukodystrophy, around Christmas after her 2nd birthday. Average life expectancy for kids with metachromatic leukodystrophy is 5. It's a double recessive disorder, so both parents have to have the recessive gene, and both parents have to give the kid the recessive gene. And by lacking this enzyme, Corey's body builds up these amino acids that destroy the white matter in her brain and her central nervous system. She never really walked by herself, and she had this cute little pull-behind walker that she could walk with. And around Christmas of that year, she had quit using the walker altogether.
Even though MLD is such a degenerative disease, her mind and her personality are still there.
She is still very much a fiery 8-year-old. She likes butterflies, and she likes Frozen, and she likes Trolls, and she will answer you with blinks. She's super smart. She figured out a way to communicate with us even though she couldn't talk.
For families with rare diseases, sometimes they feel like they're completely alone in the world. Living in New Zealand and she's here in Houston, it's, what can you do? Running and doing advocacy, it'll help, more people, in the future that have MLD. It's important for me to run the Houston Marathon because, it's my hometown. I haven't lived here in a long time. I really started all of this distance running, and I've run pretty much around the world. I ran the Sydney Marathon, the Antarctic Ice Marathon, and then went on to Europe and ran in the Paris Marathon, the Tokyo Marathon, ran a race called the Big 5 Marathon through the African bush. I went to the Atacama Desert in Chile, ran a race called the Volcano Marathon. Whenever I'm running these crazy races and start hitting the wall or wondering why am I doing this, yeah, it's the least we can do for her because we love her very much.
Runners depend on the weather forecast because getting caught in the rain is no fun. That's why I depend on the ABC 13 Houston app for hour-by-hour weather forecasts. It's convenient, it helps me plan my day and my training. I'm not lacing up without checking it first.
I think I'm as ready as I can be. I'm ready, but clearly I'm a little nervous. There are so many expectations, like on the sticker, city mileage this, highway that. That's a lot to live up to, but I heard no gas gets better mileage than Chevron with Techron. Yeah, no better mileage. It's proven, so that's a confidence builder.
It's proven no gas gets better mileage than Chevron with Techron. Care for your car.
So much for my new car smell, guys.
You have to dig deep to find the motivation to change. Change is hard. Change takes time. Change demands sacrifice. ViewSport's sweat-activated technology was developed to motivate you to go that extra mile, to hustle harder, to visibly show your work so you can push further. Performance apparel designed to show the making of a champion. ViewSport. Motivation revealed.
Lace up.
Just get up and go. Just do it. Anything is possible.
Sign up now. Sign up now.
2021 Chevron Houston Marathon registration opens today at 4 p.m.
You know what? It starts with 1 mile.
Put one foot in front of the other.
Register now to secure the lowest available price. Visit ChevronHoustonMarathon.com.
Sign up, guys.
First memories of being sick with cystic fibrosis was probably just the first hospital stay.
Cystic fibrosis affects primarily the lungs, and the lungs fill with sticky mucus. There is no cure.
The breathing treatments suck. They're not hard, it's just annoying. I have to stop in the middle of whatever I'm doing. I have to come back.
Yes, he does his treatments. Yes, he takes his medications, but I felt like I could do more for him. In 2012, I found out about the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation because I was going to run in the marathon, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's this foundation that helps people, and it became a family thing.
My whole family is gonna run the marathon. My mom, my aunt, my stepdad, my brother, my sister, and we're all gonna be running it together, and it's a fantastic thing.
I'm gonna be running the half marathon. It's probably gonna be really great because I'm running for my brother, and I love him a lot.
I thought it was really cool because I actually got to run for a reason and not just to run for myself.
I started running when my sister did. My sister and I did it together. We grabbed hands to cross that finish line, and there's a lot of pride that we were able to do it, but that we finished what we started and that we were able to make a difference in James's life.
None of us might make it to 80, or one of us might not make it till tomorrow. It's a good reminder about what's really important.
He's never had a pity party and said, why do I have to have this? He just rolls with it.
It's rewarding to run the whole thing and then finally pass the finish line. There's all those people cheering for you. But really, to me, I run because I like to see my family at the end.
Oh, they got it. Hold on.
And welcome back to the 48th running of the Chevron Houston Marathon, the 18th running of the Aramco Half Marathon, and we have had a great race in the half so far, and we'll update you on the full marathon in just a minute. John Warren, Rice University track coach, Gina Gass and Tom Cook, and Mr. Marathon, Mev Kezleski, one of the most decorated runners in American history, talking about a little controversy because this is the new Nike shoe called the Vapor Fly, John, which some say gives an advantage. This is Mev Kezleski's Skechers that he runs on. So you see the difference in the heel. So tell us what this shoe does versus this shoe.
What this shoe is designed to do, it has two things going on that arguably make it kind of a machine within the shoe. One is just this pure, the type of material they use in this midsole and the thickness of it has a response. It actually gives a little bit of energy back. But also what you can't see inside here is a carbon fiber plate. Have you ever seen the runners that are Paralympians that have the legs that aren't real legs? That's what's in here. And this shoe is purported to actually project you forward a little bit. At a minimum, it takes some of the stress off of you, especially in a marathon, between the 15th mile and say the end of the race. But it does make it easier. You look at Bridget Koski, who last year set the USA all-comers record here at 65:50. In 2017, she ran a 2:20 marathon. In 2018, she ran a 2:18 marathon. In 2019, she ran a 2:14 marathon. She beat her 2017 self by a mile and a half almost. You don't get better like that. You don't drop those times off. She beat the old marathon time by a minute. In the women's 15K, I think it's one of the best examples. The girl set the road record. Her last 10K, the 15K, was faster than the track world record. That has to be, I believe that has to do with the shoes.
This shoe,
yes, the shoes help.
So, Mev, what do you think about people being able to race in shoes like these as opposed to traditional tennis shoes?
And I'm pretty sure it has a fair amount of advantage. You know, when you see lined up to the starting line, you want to be able to say, I worked hard, and even if somebody worked harder than me, they deserve to beat me, they deserve to win. That's how I used it in the past for me. If anybody turned to them harder than me and beat me, you know what, congratulations. But this is definitely a fair advantage. And, you know, for Skechers, you know, this doesn't have the carbon fiber, but for me, with the third degree burn that you get because of the support you don't have, and now to have the carbon fiber is, you know, it's...
But how do you put the genie back in the bottle?
Right. Yeah, as technology develops,
I mean,
all shoe manufacturers are going to go to it at one point.
They're going to go for that, and then, you know, the cushion is going to take a little bit of time now, you know, but with the trials been like 6 weeks away from, and the other shoes have not started yet, but, you know, you see it with the average runners. People tell me, I was in like 249 shape, and I'm running 245. You know, there's a big time going on, but, you know, it is what it is. I mean, you know, technology is important. People wear a watch, and people use that. Before, we used to estimate how many miles we're going to go. We're going to go 10 miles estimate, but now with the GPS, you can say, no, I ran 10 miles exactly, and then 4 in the afternoon, things like that. But with the shoes now, some of them are using that, not even sponsored. So, you know, it's I mean, I held them before, but but I never endorse. I'm completely happy with my Skechers, 100%.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I've run on your Skechers before. They're fantastic shoes. But Gina raises a great question. How do you put the genie back in the bottle, John? And is there some kind of effort that's being made to take that out of the race?
Yes. Right now, the stories are coming out of England that prior to the London Marathon, these will be outlawed because there's a rule that says it has to really be easily available to everybody. And these are $250 in this country, and they're almost $400 over in England. So they're not easily accessible to everybody. It also, I've heard different arguments. One side is, of course, you can regulate it. NASCAR regulates, bikes regulate to make it fair across the board. The flip side is, does it compare more to the pole vault? Whereas back in the 60s, people went from steel poles to fiberglass, and it's just technology changed. So I see the debate on both sides. Yeah. I do think they are going to take these out, and you won't see that colorful starting line like we had today.
Yeah, today we could definitely see a dominance of
the neon shoes.
The neon colored shoes at the starting line.
And the measurement is the amount of carbon fiber. If it's going from the front to the back, or if you can have some stiffness and 1 millimeters for a little bit partial of it, it's possible. But to be able to have the whole thing.
I think they should make them run the race in one of these and one of these, and let's see how they do, okay?
No, but I was going to ask, though, don't you think a company like yours will try and do their version of something like this?
Oh, absolutely. But, I think it's been ahead of the game, and it's just probably had to use. And, the development of goes on with the improvement. This is the Go Ride 8, then you have this, and then you have the next percent, and then you have the next. And always somebody's ahead of the game.
Yeah.
One of the concerns has to be that we price people out of doing this.
Sure.
That the idea that the basic level shoe to be involved is $200, $300, $400. Now you've limited your number of people that can actually take part. And one of the beauties of this sport is it's so cheap. Yeah, the shoes might be $90 to $120, but at some point we're going to cross the threshold where they're just too expensive.
I guess you could price people out of the market though at $90 or $100 as well.
That's true too.
Yeah.
All right, we have David Nuno who's in the Galleria area this morning, South Post Oak and San Felipe, and let's go to him. David, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Tom. Mile 15, we were at the start line and we made our way out here, and we're hanging out with our friends from the Star of Hope. Scott Arthur's going to join us here. And Scott, the Star of Hope has benefited so much from the Houston Marathon over the years, Chevron Houston Marathon. Talk a little bit about what it means, especially when these athletes are taking off their clothes as they're getting ready to roll.
Yeah, we have a number of men and women who are running today for Star of Hope, and all the thousands of runners, as they continue to run, they start to shed their clothes because it gets warmer and warmer. And it's a win-win because the race officials at the end of the race actually collect them and give them to Star of Hope to help the homeless.
You got a big contingency here with you too. What, St. Agnes is here helping you guys out. Tell me who's all with you.
St. Agnes and Bel Air, and just a whole bunch of people who saw the Star of Hope sign and said, we know you have runners, we're here to support you.
And I understand you have Mark with us as well, who's running how many of these?
Mark is a legacy runner. He's run 44 marathons, 24 Houston marathons.
Mark, I got to ask you, man, what keeps you coming back here every year?
Well, actually, I've retired from running marathons because I really got too old to run them, but I just really enjoy the experience. It's a very challenging thing to do, and I just enjoy it. So.
And did I hear that right? 24 times here?
I've run Houston 24 times, yeah.
What makes it such a great course?
Well, it's flat, for one thing, and usually they have cool weather for it most of the time, like today. It's a good day to run it, so it's a very, very excellent course. Runners come from all over to run it because it is a good course.
All right, thank you so much, Mark, and thank you, Scott. I love what Star of Hope does for our community. We're having a blast here at Mile 15. We're going to be checking in with all the athletes running out here, obviously, and tracking everyone's progress. Back to you, Tom and Gina.
Okay.
I like in the women's races, she's leading those guys.
Yeah. Well, she's looking good. She is looking good. We want to go now out to Pooja Lodia, who I believe is at the split there on the course for us at Mandela. Listen at Pooja.
That is true. We're at the split. This is really the moment of truth type place because this is where people can turn right if they are going to be completing a full marathon. They go straight if they're doing the half marathon. I have to tell you this morning, I've really only seen one person who kind of stood over here stretching saying, I still haven't decided which one I'm going to do. But again, a whole lot of excitement here. Real quickly, though, we got to talk to this officer because he's been talking to us a lot about this. You are dying to be out there with your running running shoes.
I wish I was out there right now.
What is going through the minds of all of these runners? Because I know you have done many, many marathons in your life.
Right now, they're at a very happy point. In about 10 miles, they'll be wishing they weren't out here. This is a really good place. Everybody still has a lot of adrenaline working, and this is the place you want to be.
Oh, we're seeing a whole lot of smiles, and I know you wish you could be out here. Thank you so much, sir, for being out here. And if you look, you can really see a lot of what he's talking about. We are seeing runners, big smiles on their faces, a lot of energy yet, because again, we are right now between mile 7 and mile 8. We're also seeing quite a few spectators, and before I let you go, I do want to show you this sign because this one may be one of my favorite signs I've seen out here. Read your sign to us, ma'am.
Pretend you're Sammy chasing squirrels.
I take it this is the one and only.
It is.
Sammy?
This is Sammy, and that's her favorite pastime. She could be exhausted, but when she sees a squirrel, she finds that energy and she goes after it.
Hey, we can all relate, and hey, we can all use a little bit of that squirrel energy, so thank you so much. Good luck to all of these runners. Let's send it back to you.
Yeah, see, that's going to be me the next time I run, because I was just talking to Meb, and I said every time I see a marathon, I get inspired to do another one. I haven't done one in years. You don't compete competitively anymore, right? So do you want to do another marathon, or are you done?
You know, I've been very fortunate enough to do 2 marathons after I retired for charity. So I ran for the Martha Richard Foundation in Boston, and I ran for Tea for Kids for New York. And I still like to do active pacing people, whether they want to break 3 hours or they want to run 3.5 and things like that. And I would love to run one more for the Med Foundation as well.
Why don't you pace me in the Rome Marathon? How would that be?
Rome Marathon.
Rome Marathon.
I haven't done Rome yet, so it might be something.
Okay. Just bringing that up. John, how are we looking in the men's marathon and the women's?
The men's marathon, they're getting to the hilly part of our course. Hilly, I guess, for Houston isn't much. But they're still, if this doesn't set them back too much, they could run under 2:07. They'll be right on the pace to set the record. Escala Maracay is just dominating right now. She's faded a little bit from that 2:20 pace. She's still projected to go 2:21. Wow. So she's really cranking along. She's come through mile 18, so she's on the 19th mile right now. And finally, she's got some help. For a while, she's been leading the guys around her. Her rabbit, she passed him a long time ago, and she's been doing this solo from probably around the halfway point on. But this is a tremendously fast pace for her.
So that's just another male runner
who's running very well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's running at a 2:20, 2:22 type pace, and she's just cranking.
We were talking with John earlier, Meb, about drafting and how much of an advantage or how little of an advantage, but it does give you an advantage getting behind somebody, at least to get out of that wind for a bit.
Well, so look, you can see the breeze going on a little bit, and the gentleman ahead of her, he's a good guy to have. You know, he's broad, he's tall, and she can, you know, she's not tacked in yet, but she should talk to him a couple words in English and say, hey, help me out, and stay behind him. It's going to help her tremendously.
Yeah, he's probably not thinking that he came into the race to be a great buffer, but that's what he is for.
But yeah, and on the men, you know, you're gonna see. I'm surprised. Like he's looking back. You know, he's gonna be able to just draft out of each other and save energy.
What do you want to say, John? I can see.
No, for a while, earlier we were talking about how the winner of the women's half, Nia, was sitting on the shoulder, not behind. The guys, until this moment, now they want to give an example, have been sitting right behind each other. But they're talking to each other. I'm not sure if they're trying to help each other or they're just looking to see how tired they are. Bonza, who's leading this thing, who's on our right now, he's a 2:09:04 runner, and this is 2 minutes faster for a marathon than he's ever run. And he's not new at this. He's run a whole bunch of marathons, even though he's really young. But Kelly's the 2:05, 2:05:56, 2:06 runner. This is more in his wheelhouse. So it's a little bit more comfortable.
So they do have those tennis shoes on, though, don't they?
They do, yes. Yeah, there are runners that don't want to wear them that have to. You're like, I don't want to wear them, but I have to. I can't compete otherwise, because it does make a huge difference.
Well, I guess if you're sponsored by Nike, then it's kind of probably part of the uniform.
But Escala looks really comfortable to me. Neither one of these guys look that comfortable to me.
And they're not.
I would say the same.
What do you think? Yeah.
And you can see that they're exchanging leads. You know, there's a respect when you take a mile or half a mile, and then somebody is supposed to help you, because they don't want to be the only one take the lead. So they're looking at each other. They're struggling at this point. You know, whether it's the weather, whether it's the lactic acid, you can see the grimace on him and on the right. He's just going to be able to just challenge you, and you know, but at the same time, you don't want slow down to as the guys catch up to you. So
Right.
you have to be able to maintain that lead.
So at some point, this is sort of like they're pseudo teammates at this point to make sure they go 1-2.
Yep.
And at some point, they're not going to be teammates because they both want to go 1. If possible. If possible. You might find a case where one of them just starts sitting on the other and says, drag me through to the finish.
Yeah. You know, one side is the one that is here. I think he don't want to close the gap because, like he said, his time might be 2:09. Now he wants to be PR at the very least. Even if he gets second place, he wants to be able to be around a PR. But at the same time, they're looking at each other and saying, you know what, you got to take the lead. You got to help me out. And, you know, nobody's going to take the lead for a mile or two unless you make a decisive move.
And at this point in the race, when you're starting to get that fatigue or lactic acid, what are you thinking then? You just focus a mile on down the course and go, I got to make it the next mile, and I got to make, or is it a mind game all the way?
It's a mind game, as John alluded to. Is saying, we have to get 1 and 2. Let's help each other get 1 and 2 at this point. You don't want to slow down and look for each other and say, hey, that 3rd place or that 4th place closing the gap because you're struggling, you're hurting, you expect to be hurting. But at this point, it's just saying, how can I not close the gap from the 3rd place, but how can I beat that guy? And I'm going to save my energy to be able to make a move at one point, decisive move.
And you're gradually getting into the hilly portion. They're at Memorial Park right now.
Are they on the down or the up?
That was on an up, and then it'll go do a slight down all the way to where they go back uphill to Shepherd. So then the Shepherd, they end up doing the weird, what's really weird and unique to Houston, I think, is we don't really have hills, we have underpasses.
Yeah.
So to go down then up is a lot more disconcerting than up than down, because you're going down where you don't need to recover, then you go up. Whereas if you did the other way, you get to go up, then you get the recovery afterwards. So those 2 underpasses are a bit of a challenge. And the one is, that when you go into Montrose, it is a huge uphill. Yeah, they're trading on the lead now.
How far behind is the next woman runner in this marathon?
Even if they're running PRs, they're way behind.
Says 3-time champion Brooke Degefa is in a group of 3 or more, a minute behind.
A minute behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks, Tom. Right on cue.
And Degefa is a 2:22. So if she's on the pace, holding pace that she's been running, low 2:21s, Degefa probably won't catch her. But there's always, and Meb knows this, there's always a chance that at any point, especially in the last 6 miles, she can completely fall apart. I mean, there's a gauging yourself. It's like a car race in a way. You're trying not to use all your gas early, so you can finish the race, but you want to use enough gas to stay away from it.
Well, Meb, you said they're hurting. What's hurting? Your feet, your knees, or just your whole body? Is there a certain ache to it?
Most of the time for me is the quads. The first thing I give is the quads, and then you can see the second place runner right now is his quads are bigger. You can see the definition one. That will allow you to bring more lactic acid, and he's making a move now to just say, you know what, we're going to play this world of tag now, but I want to try, see if I can separate and come in a comfort zone to be able to, bring it home.
Okay. Much more. Look, yeah, you're right.
We're going to take a short break.
And it's looking at the clock and saying, I can hold on for another 30 seconds or 40 seconds. I'm going to be in it. I don't want to make him have a gap. If I can give him 10 yard or 15 yard, the game changes.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a short break and come back with more coverage of the Chevron Houston Marathon after this.
I think I'm as ready as I can be. I'm ready, but clearly, because there are so many expectations on the sticker City Mileage Fits.
It's not going to do it.
It's a lot to live up to, but I heard no gas gets better mileage than Chevron with Chevron. Yeah, no better mileage. It's proven. So that's a confidence builder.
It's proven no gas gets better mileage than Chevron with Techron. Care for your car.
So much for my new car smell, guys.
We are Aramco Americas, creating business opportunities for our partners, developing technology and sustainability breakthroughs in our lives, searching for energy solutions, working alongside the community on things that matter.
All right, and
We
good
are
stuff. Can you see
and
him?
neighbors,
Okay.
working to make a difference. We're proud to sponsor the We Are Houston 5K and the Aramco Houston Half Marathon.
You have to dig deep to find the motivation to change. Change is hard. Change takes time. Change demands.
What you got is good.
U-Sport's sweat-activated technology was developed to motivate you to go that extra mile. To hustle harder. To visibly show your work so you can push further. Performance apparel designed to show the making of
How fast are you going now? Okay, that's good.
Lace up.
Just get up and go. Just do it. Anything is fine.
2021 Chevron Houston Marathon registration opens today at 4 p.m. Register now to secure the lowest available price. Visit ChevronHoustonMarathon.com.
When I carry Old Glory on the runs, there's people that'll say, thank you, I appreciate it. There's some that will stop and salute until I pass by. Honor Flag Runner is a name that I've given what I do. Carrying Old Glory is an opportunity to say thank you. It's about who is receiving it, not who's running it. So my father was in the United States Air Force for 20 years. Later, I followed in his footsteps and enlisted in the Air Force myself. I don't know that he was ever honored for his service. The running thing was never an interest, but I did want to lose some weight. My brother had come down to Houston, and we all did a 10K together. It was my dad, my brother, my sister, and I. The next week, there was another half marathon. Initially, my dad was planning to participate in this half marathon with my sister and I, but he had back surgery. And he was ordered not to try any physical activity. So our deal was that we will carry the flag and present it to you after the race. I don't know if I've ever saluted my dad before. That was meaningful. And he still has that flag. Later I would run for my grandfather, who's passed away. He served in World War II. That's where the Honor Flag Runner came from. It's my honor to run. I believe the count is approximately 60 flags have been issued. In some cases, I might present the flag at the finish line. The most memorable event was a 72-hour run here in Cat Spring, Texas. For each 24-hour period, it was a different flag for a different Gold Star mom that I've met personally. Today, we're honoring Master Sergeant Skip Ramsey. And he is a veteran of the Army National Guard, where he was deployed to Vietnam. Today, he's going to get the welcome home. Today, he's going to get the pat on the back. He's going to get the salute he deserves. And I'm looking forward to visualizing what his reaction would be at 26.2. I use every opportunity to tell the story of who's being honored. I write the name, the date, and the event, branch of service or rank, the white part of the flag between the grommets, so that when I'm in the middle of a run, I can point to that and say, today we're honoring, and then I'll tell the story that I know. I will argue, when people say that must slow you down, I'll argue with them and say, but the encouragement lifts me up. I would not perform as well without it.
We're here at the finish line, and I'm with Eyewitness News reporter Jessica Willie, who just finished her 6th half marathon here in Houston, 10th overall. How do you feel?
I feel great, especially that I'm finished. Yay, I wasn't sure how this one would go. I do think I got a PR, but I didn't hit my goal. So I'm okay with all of that. I've talked a lot about it. Sorry, it's redundant to some people, but I'm just looking forward to Boston a few months from now. So.
Awesome, that is awesome. A little breezy today. What did you think of the conditions?
A vicious headwind once we turn on to Montrose for the half marathon. I haven't looked at the full course. I don't know where they're going to get it, but vicious headwind on Montrose, and then also when you turn on Allen Parkway, there are a lot of crosswind through the trees, through the buildings. It was tough, but the weather, the temperature, of course, was amazing.
And what was the crowd like? Always great.
Always great. Houston has the best supporters, almost the entire way for sure for the half. For the full, also a lot of supporters out there, and it really helps when you're struggling, especially when people start calling out your name. I mean, it helps tremendously.
You still have a bundle of energy, so.
So I should go run some more?
Go run another one?
No, thank you. I think I'll pass today.
All right, go get some rest.
Pizza.
There you go.
Pizza.
I love it. Go get them, Jessica. Thank you, guys.
Pizza.
Jessica looks great. Good for her.
Got it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
She's running Boston if you didn't hear her in April, so this is like a warm-up for her. But pizza and beer, it's the best post-race dinner, right?
Perfect. She talked about how windy it was in Allen Parkway.
Yeah.
That's what they're coming to the end of here. I find interesting, though, is how far off the curb they are. They're actually adding distance to the race when they went around that long curve. There they finally got it when they made the sharp turn, but that's a sign of fatigue.
You're not thinking.
They're not
You're
thinking.
just not
they're
thinking.
seeing that lane line, and they're following the lane line like they're a car versus cutting the tangent a little bit. But they've been on 206, 207 pace, and the last couple miles have been 503, 506, which is they need to be running still in the 450s, high 440s to get a fast pace. So they're in that tough part right now. They're crossing the Shepherd Bridge, so they're about to make a left, and then they're going to go with our version of real hills. They're about to hit them.
Well, they're hitting the hills and the wind all at the same time, as well as the fatigue. So
so this could be. It'll be interesting to see if they hold this 505, 503 type pace, if they can pick it up at all. When the course record was set, he ran the last 10K like in 29:10, which is 440 pace. So I don't think they're going to do that today. That was like the biggest shocker that day. So they're sitting on each other again, trying to get to the end. From our shot here, you can't see anybody else in sight with them.
No, they're way behind.
And then the whole flip side, I mean, she's at Memorial Park now, so she hasn't gotten to the hills or the wind yet, so we'll see how she holds on. But she's been running in the 520s almost, 5 teens early on. Her last mile report was 527. I mean, she's still cranking along really, really good.
Well, this is a great race here, and hopefully we will beat the record, which is 206.50 in the men's and 214.04 in the women's.
No.
224, I'm sorry. That would be a fast race, wouldn't it?
That's the world record.
Yeah,
is 214.
that's it.
Yeah, 223.14 is the record for the women. And it sounds like, from the feedback we've gotten, not only is she on pace to break that record, it sounds like DeGeffa and maybe some others are on that pace to break that record. But again, I think it all changes when you hit that wind in the hills.
Well, as she's going through Memorial Park, we're reminded that the Houston Marathon Foundation supports running as part of the development of a healthy lifestyle. Take a look.
Good job. That's it. Good job.
With every lap around the track, these students at Sharpstown High are learning the power of perseverance.
You know, we get a lot of feedback from the teachers saying that this after-school running program is doing wonders for their kids.
Good job, Bernie.
These young runners are part of the Houston Marathon Foundation's We Run Houston program.
Many of our students have come from pretty rough backgrounds. They've had difficulty getting to where they are, and this is great for them. It builds up their confidence, and it helps them realize that there's a place for them here.
Keep working.
Through the 4-month program, students train for the We Run Houston 5K or the Aramco Houston Half Marathon.
Running means a lot to me, putting me in shape.
I've got 2 kids that this is going to be their 4th half marathon. And when they first started, they were like, man, am I going to finish?
It's a good workout.
Now they're thinking, am I going to beat last year's time?
The program also gives Sharpstown students the resources they need to suit up and run, like athletic gear.
We're here today to distribute shoes that were donated by Brooks. We're so happy to partner with Sharpstown High School and have these kids train and learn the joys of running.
All part of an effort to help these young runners learn to keep pushing forward.
I like to encourage my teammates as well. So I won't give up, they won't give up.
I'd like to say to the Houston Marathon Foundation, thank you. It is good for our kids, and ultimately, it's good for Houston.
Coverage of the Chevron Houston Marathon is sponsored by the Houston Marathon Committee. Registration for the 2021 race opens today at 4 p.m.
I think I'm as ready as I can be. I'm ready, but clearly I'm a little nervous. There are so many expectations, like on the sticker, city mileage this, highway that. That's a lot to live up to, but I heard no gas gets better mileage than Chevron with Tech Run. Yeah, no better mileage. It's proven, so that's a confidence builder.
It's proven no gas gets better mileage than Chevron with Techron. Care for your car.
So much for my new car smell, guys.
We are Aramco Americas, creating business opportunities for our partners, developing technology and sustainability breakthroughs in our labs, searching for energy solutions, working alongside the community on things that matter. We are professionals and neighbors, working to make a difference. We're proud to sponsor the We Are Houston 5K and the Aramco Houston Half Marathon.
Lace up.
Just get up and go. Just do it. Anything is possible.
Sign up now.
Sign up now.
2021 Chevron Houston Marathon registration opens today at 4 p.m.
You know what? It starts with 1 mile.
Put one foot in front of the other.
Register now to secure the lowest available price. Visit ChevronHoustonMarathon.com.
Sign up, guys.
You have to dig deep to find the motivation to change. Change is hard. Change takes time. Change demands sacrifice. ViewSport's sweat-activated technology was developed to motivate you to go that extra mile, to hustle harder, to visibly show your worth so you can push further. Performance apparel designed to show the making of a champion. ViewSport. Motivation revealed.
I'm the mother of twin sons who were born 10 weeks premature. I'm running for Texas Children's Hospital in honor of my sons and for all the children at Texas Children's Hospital. I went in for my checkup at Texas Children's Hospital, the Women's Pavilion, and they told me during the checkup that I was already in labor. That was at 29 weeks. So it was a complete shock. They tried to stop the labor and it lasted about 5 days before the babies decided they were coming. The entire experience was terrifying. When Hayden came out, he was over 5 pounds. So I was just so thankful that he was a good size. When they took Holden out, they said he's 3 pounds. Because he didn't get enough nutrients, he was just very, very small and had to spend a lot of time working on his breathing. He was fed through a feeding tube, jaundice, had to have a blood transfusion. Hayden, his bigger brother, quickly lost the weight. He had necrotizing enterocolitis when he was 11 days old. I think it's like the second leading cause of mortality in premature babies. That is the death of the intestines, where the intestines just start to die. They did tell us that if he was going to pass, it would be within the next 24 to 48 hours. I kind of went a little crazy with the idea of losing my son at only 11 days old. They were in the NICU about 6 weeks. They received amazing care at Texas Children's. If we had been at any other hospital, my true belief is that Hayden wouldn't be here today. Without them, I can't imagine what life would be like. When we finally got to take the boys home, we were able to put them in the car on the same day and bring them home together. This year I'm raising money for Texas Children's Hospital. I can never repay them for everything that they did, but it is something that I can do. I work at Bechtel. My coworkers knew about the situation I had with my boys, so a couple friends and myself decided to start a running team and run in honor of Texas Children's. And once word got out, the support from all of my colleagues was amazing. And now we are 85 members, and we are now the largest corporate team for the marathon. Everyone raising money for Texas Children's Hospital, I want to help them any way that I can. They saved my son's life, I believe.
So many reasons to run, and that's just one of those many, many reasons people choose here today, helping others in need, and certainly with medical situations like that. Now we're looking over Allen Parkway from our drone. Look at this, and we have just had a big, big move. We have Kellum Neff, who was the last man starting now, about to come past the finish line here in the half marathon. There he is.
Yeah, there he is. He's happy.
For those of you that haven't heard, he was the last man starting the race today, the guy way at the back of the pack, I should say. And for every person he passed in the half marathon, people donated money. So we raised a lot of money there. That's Kellum Neff, and he's going to join us up here on the set coming up.
We hope he joined past thousands and thousands of people.
Well, he's a fast guy. He probably did.
He is, yeah.
He's a fast guy. As we just said, there was a big move made in the men's marathon. We had the leader, Kelkeli Gazahin of Ethiopia, who just took it away from the second-place runner, John.
He keeps looking back. They were together for a long while.
They were together for a long time. They got to the hilly bits and ran what were, for these guys, are really slow miles, a 5:31 and 5:26, and that's when Kelkeli made the big move. But like Mev and I were talking about, the Bonza, who's in second, he may not end up second. Kelkeli's going one direction, Bonza's going the other, and if he runs 5:30s, 5:40s in, there's got to be somebody back out there that can catch him.
So you were looking at him saying he looks like he's struggling.
Yeah, when we looked at him earlier, Bonza's face looked a lot less comfortable. Neither one looked great, but Bonza looked a little bit less great, if you will. Now on the women's side, she looks like $1 million.
Yeah.
She's just incredible. She just threw it on the 22nd mile. She went 5:32.
We don't have her up on the main screen right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but the women's side, she is doing a phenomenal job. She's been running most of this alone. She's had a little bit of help from the regular excellent runners, 220, 222 guys, and she's leaving them behind. This pace is this is going to be one of the great runs. I mean, it's going to be maybe the best record set here. It's better than the 206 even. That's phenomenal. We started the day with the idea of breaking 4 records. I want to point out, they're all 4 great records. They're not easy to break. I mean, and you can see how great a day it is by the depth of the field, especially in that half marathon, how great everyone was able to run, but they couldn't get under that 59:22 because it is so good.
So was that official? We found out Jamal Yemmer did not break.
Oh, I don't know the official. I'm sorry. I don't know that.
We do know, though, that the father and son from UK were trying to set a record, and they were able to.
They did it by over 5 minutes, I think. they crushed it. It was amazing.
Yes.
I mean, I thought the 62:57 by Andrew, I mean, by Matt, the younger one, is pretty impressive. 71:10 by the 55-year-old father. I can't even. I don't know.
Here's for the 50-year-old.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
That's an amazing run, amazing record to set.
Yeah. So that's the world record for a father and son running together in a half marathon.
Right.
That's
Right.
Wow.
Who comes up with those records, though?
I don't know. It's like a baseball statistic, isn't it? And Bob now has Callum Neff. Bob?
Yeah, Cal Neff is with this last runner starting. Cal, how many people did you pass?
My goal was 10,000. I think I got pretty close to that today.
That is awesome.
A lot of people.
Tell us again what you were running for.
Yeah, so today I was selected by the Houston Marathon Foundation as a local elite to represent the foundation and put up pledges for every person I passed. So I started dead last, let everybody go. It was great cheering everybody on at the start line. It was strange for me because I'm normally right at the front, but it was great cheering everybody on. And then I started last and weaved and bobbed my way through.
I bet people were cheering for you too as you came through.
Yeah, it was a really good build-up, so I had lots of support out there. They knew that it was for a good cause when I passed them, fortunately.
Awesome stuff. Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, thank
good
you so
stuff
much.
today, man. Tom, Gina.
Hey, Bob, he's going to join us on the finish line, 10:35 tonight. That is our wrap-up show, and we're going to show you your friends and relatives and neighbors and all the elites. So Callum Neff will be there as well tonight. I hope you'll join me tonight after our news at 10:35 for the finish line, and John will be there as well.
You can see how excited he was. We have kind of now narrowed it down to, and then they were 2.
Yeah,
out in front.
And the big difference is, I mean, he pulled away, Kelly pulled away from Bonza running another 5:26 mile. So it's like, it's more, not even one went forward, one maintained, the other one really kind of died. But at the same time, you got on the women's side, she's not showing any signs of fatigue. She's still running in the 5:20s, low 5:30s, which is super fast. I mean, it's an incredible time. So where the wind and the hills seem to affect the guys, nothing seems to affect her.
Okay, but is she in the hills? Is she
Yes,
in the hills?
yes.
Okay.
She's
I can see a little bit.
From Memorial up and down a little bit. She's about to make the left onto Allen Parkway. So she's about to hit the heavy hills now.
Okay.
I mean, almost. You make this turn, and it's flat, then it goes up.
So the record 206.50. Kelly Gazayan of Ethiopia not going to make that today, probably. Okay.
They may be in the 209s today. Okay. I mean, these 5:26, 5:30s for a male is not going to. It's not what he's normally used to running.
I love seeing the other runners alongside them on the screen. You can see him running, and you can see
how many he's passing.
The regular folk, and appreciate more easily how quickly he's running compared to.
It's a good feeling, Meb, right? You see that finish line, you go, oh, here it is. Thank you, God.
Yeah, it's a moment that everybody, as a elite athlete or the runner, average runner, just because you go on by each other, you inspire each other, you encourage each other. Look at how they're cheering. So it's a contagious, the cheering and the momentum, and that's a unique part of it. Out and back course, or kind of seeing the elite runners go by.
Okay, for Kelly, mile 23 was 5:26, mile 24 was 5:26, mile 25 was 4:57.
Wow!
He got out of the hills, he got out of the wind, and he got a little bit excited, and he dropped a foot. So it's going to be in the 208s, maybe better, if he keeps this up.
Well, he looks like he's kicking it a little bit now. He looks like he does have some gas left.
Yes, and some of it might be what you were just saying. These folks next to you are cheering like crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, they're going hard, and they're cheering everybody on beside him. It's kind of a very unique thing in sport.
Well, what an honor for them to get a chance to run alongside him and be able to cheer him on.
But he should be, what is he at? He should only be a couple minutes away from the finish.
Well, there you see it. Great shot on the ground there as he approaches the finish line. Again, the record here in the course, 206.50, and we're now at, 206.30 about.
And then there's always one who comes into the wrong lane. There he got back over.
once they see him pass, it's kind of like a little late cheering on because he's come from behind. All of a sudden he passes them, and it's like, oh, they get excited. You're gonna see them cheering and give them thumbs up or making noises.
Okay, and is that still the number 2 finisher? Is that who was racing it before? Can you see, John?
It looks like it's Bonza as well. Still back there. Yeah, but as you know, the camera is tricky. It makes it look a lot closer than it really is.
Yeah.
All right, this is our leader right now, and we expect the man who's going to win this race in just about another minute or so, Kelly Kazahin of Ethiopia.
And you can see the others catching Bonza barely in the back, and some other runners coming on the screen.
Right. Yeah. Going through his mind now is
this is for what kind of a prize, as well as family honor.
$45,000. That's what's going through his mind. Here comes my check. I would hope I'd be running for that.
Honor.
And family honor. That's true. That's true. That's true.
Bragging rights.
Oh, he's running good.
There goes the 400 meters to the left. So he's at the 26-mile mark, right? The banner right there. So he has 400 meters left.
So does it get easier right now?
It does because the crowd next to you. Because it's cheering on, supporting you. Now he knows exactly that the runner-up is clear away from him. It's a celebration. You'll see him give him another 30 seconds if we start doing this.
Yeah.
So.
And we're getting a little spoiled over recent years about how people run 201s and unofficially under 2. 208, which I think he's going to finish within the next minute, I believe. 208, 209 is a great marathon time. Hey, as an example, Matt, what's your PR in the marathon?
208.37.
Which one?
208.37 in Boston.
Yeah. And he's one of the best marathoners of all time, especially when you look at his Olympic medals. I mean, that's the idea of where he's done. That's how good this is.
He is kicking it at the end. Kelly Kazahin of Ethiopia hitting the tape.
He just right under your time.
You got to do it,
He nipped you.
Right under.
And the way he looked, he will tell us how windy and hilly it was at the end. That was some work. He did not cruise that in at all. I mean, he was going fast, but he looked like it was definitely a huge effort on his part.
I don't know how you do it, Meb. He's out there, and we saw him at mile 20. He looked like he was struggling, and then he's kicking it at the end. As you said, it's a mental game, right?
A mental game, and I saw the mayor there, kind of almost greeting him. It says a lot for the mayor to be able to be there, to be at the finish line, for the sport and for the city. So it's great.
Yeah, we're going to hear from him in just a couple of minutes. Bob Slovak's at the finish line. Been interviewing our winners all morning long, and we're still waiting for the second place finisher.
Looks like there he is. Yeah.
But there's a guy behind him. You can see the guy behind him.
Oh, yeah, coming fast. The guy behind him is moving faster.
He's looking back. So.
And this is where you're like, I don't know if I can go faster because he's already struggling. He picks it up, and you'll see this happen in every marathon in the masses. Cramp, you've had to have it, just your hamstring goes, your calf goes. Yeah. So like, I need to make it, but I can't. There's like a governor on your body that's keeping him from sprinting, even if he could sprint at all.
Yeah, but you could see. Don't know how far the guy is behind him, but you could see he was running faster.
He's got a full minute and a half cushion on the second place finisher.
Is that how it is? Okay.
Oh, yeah, and he did all that in the last, 4 miles. 3 miles he put all that on. So, but Bonzo Dita might not be breaking 6 minutes right now. I mean, he's really
when he hit the
off.
wall, there's that wall. It's hard to break it through. It's
yeah, he as they say, he kind of maybe got a little bit too excited. When you're a 209 guy, to try to be running 206 pace for most of the day is asking a lot.
We haven't even talked about the wall today. What is that like, hitting the wall? People, it's figurative, but what's it feel like? Like running into a mental wall, a physical?
Physical wall. Look at his arms. His arms are not even moving. Because just usually a nice cadence to be able to propel you forward, but it's just, I'm glad I'm done. Is what he's thinking.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm done. That was rough.
I don't blame you. You've hit the wall during a race?
I have done, and I did it on my first one, and it made me say never again because and I done it again in 2013 New York. It just, your mind says go, your body says no.
Something happens. You run out of
fuel. You run out of fuel. And,
wow.
And especially a cold day like this, it makes it a lot more harder. There goes a good finish right there for third and fourth, I think. It's close.
And now on your left of the screen, Askale Marachi of Ethiopia as well. She is the lead runner here in the women's marathon.
Strong too, it looks like.
She looks like she is just like she started the race. And we don't see anybody close behind her at all, John.
Yeah, she even faded back in these hills. She went from running, like, I said, 5:27, 5:33. The hills, she's run 5:36 and 5:40. She's not dying much at all.
No,
she looks really, really good.
That's still strong.
We got a race for fourth.
Is that for third and fourth?
For third, I mean.
Third and fourth.
Thrill. Oh. Oh, we just missed it. That 2:11:30 is a PR, but 2:11:30 is what Scullion was shooting for to make the Olympic A standard.
Oh,
and he just missed it.
Just seconds away from it.
Seconds away.
So when you say the Olympic standard, what do you mean?
In the Olympics, they're actually making it really confusing this year over past years. In the past, you just had to hit a time standard and you qualified for a track event or the marathon. Now they do a thing where about half the field will come by a time standard and half of it comes from what we were talking earlier about the gold label marathons, accruing points at certain races, and they build up points so they select a better field as the goal. But it's a little more complicated to say. But the A standard, the Olympic standard is 2:11:30. If you run under that, your country can select you and you've qualified. If you haven't run under that and you haven't done the other part, you don't get to go.
All right, we will be back with so much more. We've got another 45 minutes or so of the Chevron Houston Marathon and the Aramco Half Marathon. Live coverage continues after this short break.
I adore running. Always have, always will. I've done 20 Houston marathons, and I've run 75 marathons overall. This medal is definitely going to mean a little more to me because I have the backing of Houston behind me, and particularly the marathon committee for trusting me to do something for them that they would love. I think I thought Houston was not attainable. When they called me, immediately, images pop in my head. So the painting that I did is called You're Almost There. I painted it big because I want people to feel like they can walk into it, or run into it, or hobble into it, or whatever you're doing at that point when you're 5 or 6 miles out. You can kind of see the finish line, but not really. And then I also put a dog in it, of course, who has his hand outstretched like you're supposed to, like flat with the cup here so people can run and grab. And so he's there waiting for you with his nice big cup of water to help you get back in. Every artist wants to evoke emotions. And for me, I want to make people feel good. The coolest part is that my love of running and my love of art are just together as one. I run because it's where I get my best creative ideas.
Runners depend on the weather forecast because getting caught in the rain is no fun. That's why I depend on the ABC 13 Houston app for hour-by-hour weather forecasts. It's convenient, it helps me plan my day and my training. I'm not lacing up without checking it first.
I think I'm as ready as I can be. I'm ready, but clearly I'm a little nervous. There are so many expectations, like on the sticker, city mileage this, highway that. That's a lot to live up to, but I heard no gas gets better mileage than Chevron with TechRun. Yeah, no better mileage. It's proven, so that's a confidence builder.
It's proven no gas gets better mileage than Chevron with TechRun. Care for your car.
So much for my new car smell, guys.
We are Aramco Americas, creating business opportunities for our partners, developing technology and sustainability breakthroughs in our labs, searching for energy solutions, working alongside the community on things that matter. We are professionals and neighbors, working to make a difference. We're proud to sponsor the We Are Houston 5K and the Aramco Houston Half Marathon.
Lace up.
Just get up and go. Just do it. Anything is possible.
Sign up now.
Sign up now.
2021 Chevron Houston Marathon registration opens today at 4 p.m.
You know what? It starts with 1 mile.
Put one foot in front of the other.
Register now to secure the lowest available price. Visit ChevronHoustonMarathon.com.
Sign up, guys.
Chevron awarded 3 local charity organizations $25,000 each as part of this year's Chevron Houston Marathon Run for a Reason Charity Challenge. The challenge gives Run for a Reason charities the chance to compete for additional funding. This year's charity winners are Friends for Life, Houston Area Parkinson Society, and Can Care. On Friday, Chevron presented each winner with a $25,000 check. Congratulations to all of them.
Welcome back to the finish line. I'm here with the Chevron Houston Marathon winner, Kekili Gazai of Ethiopia. His 14th marathon win. First time running here in Houston. He wins his first time here in Houston. How was the finish? He was able to pull away from his competitor.
አጨራረስህ እንዴት ነበረ? እንዴት ነው ከነዛ ካንተ ጋር ከሚሮጡት ቀደም ያልክበት ሁኔታ?
ያው አጨራረሴ እንትን ፔሶች ላይ ነበርኩ። ፔሶች ሲያቋርጡን ኢንተርቫል መትቼ ወደፊት ሄድኩ በዛው።
So he was on the pace. After the pace exit, he doubled the pace. And then that's how he finished it.
Double the pace?
Double the pace.
Wow. Obviously, he enjoyed running here in Houston. What was the crowd like for him?
እና ህዝቡ ድጋፉ እንዴት ነበረ? እዚህ መሮጥ እንዴት ደስ አለህ?
እዚህ በመሮጤ በጣም ደስተኛ ነኝ። ህዝቡም በጣም ደስ የሚል ነው። ድጋፉ በጣም የበለጠ ያስሮጣል። አየር ንብረቱ በጣም ቀዝቃዛ ነው፣ በጣም ንፋስ ነው፣ ግን የህዝቡ ድጋፍ በጣም ያስሮጣል።
He said that the cheering, the support is really, it energizes, it helps. And then the air was really cold, but the cheer was great, he said.
It's safe to say he'll be back in Houston to run again?
ወደዚህ ለመመለስ ሐሳብ አለ ወይ እንበል ወይ ትመለሳለህ ብለን እንጠብቅ ወይ? He say his pressure to come back. He want to run if he get chance. He want to.
Awesome. He wins $45,000 and one really sweet Stetson hat. The folks from Chevron, on behalf of Chevron people, congratulations on your win.
I'm so excited and I thank you so much for the prize.
First cowboy hat?
የመጀመሪያ የካውቦይ ኮፍያ ነው የምንሰጠው። የመጀመሪያ ነው አይደለም እንዴ ይላል? Yes, it's the first one.
Go ahead.
Say thankfully.
Go ahead and put it on. Congratulations.
Say thank you.
You have to put it on. There you have it. Your Chevron Houston Marathon winner.
We always love the money shot with the cowboy hat on, right?
That's true. Welcome, cowboy. Oh, there it is. That was like me the first time I tried the cowboy hat. I turned it around.
Back, right?
Tommy got it on sideways. All right, on the left, that is our leader in the women's marathon, and she is looking really good, John.
Well, she's starting to look a little more like Bonza did, the second place finisher. She just ran a 5:56 mile, which is way off what she's been doing. And she's looking at her watch now. Hopefully if she can get together and run it, it's going to have to be under 5:30 to get the course record. And that a 6-minute marathon mile really throws you off. I mean, it's 30 seconds by a mile. It's a tough day. It's a tougher finish. She doesn't look near as clean as she looked before. The arms are going, you got this side-to-side motion going on with the arms.
Yeah, Meb is just demonstrating that here.
This is the boxer form right now.
You just mentioned it, though, and Kelly Gazahin, the men's winner, just said the same thing you said before. He was energized by that cheering. The people, as he went past, went, go, go, go. That really does that much for you.
Oh, absolutely. I think the crowd always energizes you, and it gives you the energy that is needed, especially when you're going past them or they cheer your name, come on, you can do it, or you're almost there. I love getting the crowd. That's the beauty of distance running and marathon, to be able to just be that much far away, within touching distance, and screaming names or telling you, good job, you're almost there, you can do it, or sometimes they even give you a gap. You got 30 seconds ahead of that person, and all that to encourage you.
Yeah, the intimacy there of the crowd there alongside you.
And it's really cool that it's not just crowd on the side, that they're in the race. Like, they're cheering you on because they're kind of going in a different way. They're going through a similar thing.
Absolutely.
So they're amazing to watch someone, especially as good as Meb, go by. It's like, that's incredible, and they get excited about that as well. I hope she can get as excited as Kelly did and finish 30 seconds faster than he's been running, and she's got a pretty good shot at it.
And I'm still looking at no one in the shot behind her at all.
No, and they still run it pretty well.
Even when we're showing
outside of Chicago, this is, year after year, one of the best time-wise marathons there is in this country. Boston as well. Boston's a downhill course.
Oh my gosh.
He had to cross then.
he made it a crowd, but he didn't see that. The lady.
Yeah.
That was dangerous. That was
dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Because we know there's a big gap behind her.
Look, there's still people coming. Yeah. Well, there's somebody coming.
That's a guy.
That's a male
That's a
runner.
guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a male runner.
Try it.
So maybe she's thinking at this point, well, let me not let that guy catch me.
That finish line cannot come soon enough for her right now. And she went out really, really fast. I mean, her first part, there's no question. Both the men's field and this field, they thought today was going to be a record-type day. They got the Pacers to do it. The Pacers pulled them through at good paces, really went after it. And sometimes if you go out too fast, it makes it, you as an overall pack, you end up struggling a little bit. And that's what we're seeing, I think, from the overall pack.
You didn't expect Brooke Gefa to be that far behind, did you?
What is that guy doing?
He's giving her guidance where to go.
Oh, okay.
Got run over.
He's started saying, stay to the cone because the wheelchair is coming. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
You didn't expect the rest of the women to be that far behind, though, did you?
Oh, not at all. I thought, well, actually what I thought is Gefa was the one who'd run 222 if possible. And
we're used to seeing Gefa at the front of the pack.
Right, and I figured either Escala, there's only a couple women I thought could even contend with her, Shuko Odo and Escala Mercado. Her PR prior to this is 224.13 from LA back in April of last year. So she's going to, I think no matter what, I think she's going to have a personal best. I think she's going to make this turn in a second. I don't think she's that far away from us at this point.
And do we know where in the men's race El Abbasi from Bahrain finished? He was one of the fastest Bahrainian runner ever.
I didn't see him come in. It'll be interesting. He ran the half here last year and didn't run great for him. I mean, it's still 62 minutes, but for someone of his caliber, that was a little bit off. He isn't, he's probably Meb's age. No, he's a little bit, he's 35 or 36 years old. He's kind of in that bubble area being at the end of his career. Unless you're Meb and you go on 3 or 4 more years after that. But normally that's kind of the end of it.
There she is.
There she is. Askali of Ethiopia in 223.30, it looked like.
That's just off what Gefa ran last year. So that'll be the 3rd or 4th best time ever run in Houston. So she faded a little bit and still ran a tremendous time. Now we'll see if there's anybody else. There's someone coming in here. You can see on the camera.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, behind the guy in white. So we see a runner. Oh, there's another one in front. Is that Gefa? That's Gefa.
That's the Gefa.
Yeah, I recognize her silhouette.
So she would have just missed the Houston record by about 30 seconds, right? Yeah. Not even. 220. The Houston record, 223.
She looks good.
14 was the old Houston record, right?
Right, so she's only off by like 16 seconds. It is that 1 mile that really did her in. And this is a really good run by Gefa. This is her 7th time to run here. And now she's finished first 3 times, second twice, 3rd and 4th.
Wow.
So that's good.
Had she won today, she'd have been the first ever to win 4 times here in Houston.
I think she played a little safe. It looked like her form was really good and strong at the end. Didn't break it down. So I think she played a little bit too safe, I think.
Yes, because her form looks good.
Yeah.
This is an outstanding performance, though. To be a 224 and be second.
You're just a minute off the record time here.
So that gives her like now 7 of the best 20 times ever run in the marathon, and probably 5 of the top 10. And now no one else is in sight.
There's another one. I think 3rd place should be closing right behind her, I think.
Meb, when you're done running that marathon and you get past that finish line, what are some of the first things you do in terms of your physical improvement immediately?
First, smile.
Okay.
Because it's been really, really hard if you can, that is.
Yeah.
And then, just celebrate. And for me, I have a you can drink that right away to help me recover.
Okay.
The first thing I bring is a shake with 10 ounces of water and a packet is a you can. And then after that, just a lot of media and a lot of drug testing. So try to enjoy that and greet your family just because, you want to be able to tell them thank you for all the support they're giving you. And eventually, it's a little stretching if you can because it's very rigid. I've never been 80-year-old, but I've seen 80-year-old men and women walking around and doing some room to struggle, and that's what it is. After the finish line, you're struggling.
We have an 83-year-old running today in the marathon.
The oldest, 83.
That's great. That's amazing.
So you keep moving after the race. You don't want those muscles to tighten up.
You want to keep moving if you can, but then sometimes, like New York, my last marathon, I just didn't have anything left to collapse.
That was it.
They have to carry you out through, but if you can walk around, it's better. Yeah. get hot chocolate or tea or coffee, something really warm into your system. Also.
We see some runners come across the finish line and throw up.
There's somebody in a suit.
Which is just kind of,
okay.
Come on now.
I think the half marathon in a suit.
No,
I hope he won a bet.
Looking at us.
Yeah, either that or he's with the FBI.
Or he got in around the corner and just walked through.
That could be.
We still haven't seen third place. I don't believe.
In the women's race?
I thought I saw a woman in blue. I did see
within
one.
10-15 seconds, I think there was
right behind Degefa.
Okay.
Yeah, she was right behind
we haven't seen
Degefa.
fourth place.
No, fourth place.
That might be fourth place.
I don't think I think she's in the wrong lane. And the pants are kind of the giveaway.
Okay. That's true. That's true. They look like the pants Gina Gaston would wear for a run. Always fashionable.
Yeah.
She was going to take them off, but she probably decided it's too cold to keep them on.
Yeah. And we want to remind you the clothes that were shed today are being donated to the Star of Hope shelter. So you don't have to worry about all of those who decided to part with stuff that it won't get to a good home.
It's a beautiful feeling getting to that finish line.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I remember that. It's been a while, but it's so much fun running the race.
Yeah.
And I was inspired to run a marathon. Back when I first came to Houston, I was covering the Houston Marathon. Can't remember what the name of it was back then, but it was still the Houston Marathon. I don't remember the sponsor. But I went down here and covered it in 1983 and said, I got to run this race.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'd never run farther than 5 miles in my life, but I thought I got to have that 26 miles under my belt.
And that was when they just ran up Memorial, down Memorial, up Memorial, down Memorial.
Something like that, yes.
It was a very dull course.
This course has changed several times.
Well, listen.
This one's been one we've had for a while.
1972, it was a 5-mile loop in Memorial Park, so you went around it 5.25 times or so, and it was 113 people back then, and they ate beef stew, I think, after and had a party. That was about it. But that's a tough run, a 5-mile loop.
How things have changed.
That's what they moved to for the Olympic trials, though, because these guys, you're not paying attention to the scenery or the nice parts when you're up running as fast as, say, these guys ran today. The trials this year is going to be a 3-loop course, right?
Correct. Yeah.
They're going to have a 3-loop and a little add-on at the end to try to. It makes when we hosted here in 2012 and just went around Allen Parkway, they made it as flat as can be. They didn't do the underpasses, and it was great for watching. I mean, you could just go back and forth across those bridges. There's just a wonderful set of criterion course.
Okay. Well, Marathon Meb, we have been so privileged to have you here again. Meb Keflezighi, one of the most decorated runners in U.S. history. As I said, the only guy to win Boston, New York in 2014, Boston?
2014, yeah.
And then be an Olympian, a silver medalist in 2004. We appreciate it. Your insight and your energy and all of that.
Thanks. It's always great to see you every
Nice to see
year.
you.
With you guys here again.
Come and join us again next year?
I would love to.
Okay. Meb Keflezighi, everybody.
Thanks.
Let's take it to the west side. Out there around Tanglewood, Courtney Fisher is out there with the runners still coming across at Chimney Rock and Woodway.
Yeah, that's right, guys. We've been talking with fans and runners as well. Can I grab you really quickly? Because I love this sign. Humpty Dumpty had wall issues too. We are at mile marker 17. You know, this is your sign, right?
Yes.
Tell me, you're here to support a friend.
Yes.
Hoping she doesn't hit a wall.
Right. She's trying to qualify for Boston.
That's amazing. You've run marathons yourself before, so what's so hard about mile 17?
You start to feel the fatigue, and it really gets hard and closer to 20. So we thought this was a good point to give her some encouragement.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I know you're moving on to the next one, but guys, this is why mile 17 is so hard. Runners hit that wall. Tom Cook, I know you've seen that, I'm sure, with your many marathons in your past. That is why it is so important to be out here cheering on these runners, these athletes, as they kind of get into that home stretch. We also know our colleague, ABC 13 Chaz Miller, he is closing in on us, which is awesome. We talked with him earlier if you were watching our coverage. He's raising money for cystic fibrosis, and hopefully we'll check in with him here shortly as well. But everyone picking up the pace, not hitting a wall here on this gorgeous day. We'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Courtney. And we'll be back with much more at the 48th running of the Chevron Houston Marathon. And we'll talk to Steve Green from Chevron right after this break.
Coverage of the Chevron Houston Marathon is sponsored by the Houston Marathon Committee. Registration for the 2021 race opens today at 4 p.m.
I think I'm as ready as I can be. I'm ready, but clearly I'm a little nervous. There are so many expectations, like, on the sticker, city mileage this, highway that. That's a lot to live up to, but I heard no gas gets better mileage than Chevron with Techron. Yeah, no better mileage. It's proven. So that's a confidence builder.
It's proven no gas gets better mileage than Chevron with Techron. Care for your car.
So much for my new car smell, guys.
Let's go, Houston!
Lace up.
Just get up and go. Just do it. Anything is possible.
Sign up now.
Sign up now.
2021 Chevron Houston Marathon registration opens today at 4 p.m.
You know what? It starts with 1 mile.
Put one foot in front of the other.
Register now to secure the lowest available price. Visit ChevronHoustonMarathon.com.
Sign up, guys!
You have to dig deep to find the motivation to change. Change is hard. Change takes time. Change demands sacrifice. ViewSport's sweat-activated technology was developed to motivate you to go that extra mile, to hustle harder, to visibly show your work so you can push further. Performance apparel designed to show the making of a champion. ViewSport. Motivation revealed.
I think I'm as ready as I can be. I'm ready, but clearly I'm a little nervous. There are so many expectations, like on the sticker, city mileage this, highway that. That's a lot to live up to, but I heard no gas gets better mileage than Chevron with Techron. Yeah, no better mileage. It's proven. So that's a confidence builder.
It's proven no gas gets better mileage than Chevron with Techron. Care for your car.
So much for my new car smell, guys.
The Chevron Houston Marathon, Aramco Houston Half Marathon, and We Are Houston 5K has been sponsored by Chevron and Aramco.
The Chevron Houston Marathon is an incredible event. Chevron has been the title sponsor for 15 years. It's an important economic driver for the city, and we have runners from all over the world. And we have thousands of volunteers. We have about 8,000 employees in the Houston area, and I can tell you that they care deeply about this city. They contribute thousands of volunteer hours to more than 100 nonprofit organizations that address the building blocks of strong communities, things like basic human needs, education, and economic development. We have a campaign every fall. It's called Chevron Humankind. Our employees support the community by volunteering. With organizations like the Houston Food Bank, Trees for Houston, and Dress for Success. Through the 2018 Humankind campaign, Chevron employees volunteered more than 15,000 hours. In all of 2018, our employees contributed more than 40,000 volunteer hours, benefiting nearly 600 local charities. Between 2015 and 2018, Chevron invested over $37 million with local Houston nonprofits focused on health, education, and economic development. We believe that volunteering our own human energy demonstrates the commitment of our workforce to the community in which we live and work. Chevron's employees gladly devote their time and talents to make a difference, enabling a brighter future for Houston. Chevron is proud to be part of our community's can-do spirit.
And along with that community spirit feeling that a lot of people are out experiencing today, we also have people that are trying to qualify for the Olympics and have done so.
Adriana Portilla Nelson is going to run under the 207A standard to make the Olympic trials for the U.S. We had a whole bunch of women and a whole bunch of guys make it under the half marathon standard, which was 73 for the women and 64 for the guys. And I didn't see the numbers, but it's literally going to be dozens.
There she is. We're just showing her there. Today, the last day to qualify for her, right?
She's a UTEP graduate. I remember watching her run years ago for them. It was outstanding on the track, and has converted it over to the marathon for today. She's not a youngster. I think she's 38, 39 years old.
That's a youngster.
So
Youngster.
Compared to us, yes.
Yes.
Let's hear from the women's winner. She's with Bob Slovak. Bob?
All right, thank you, Tom. We're here with Ethiopia's Askali Marachi. She wins the Chevron Houston Marathon. First time running here in Houston, her third overall win, marathon win. How was the race? First of all, I want to ask you, she pulled away from the pack. What was that like?
ከሌሎቹ ልጆች በሙሉ ርቀሽ ሄደሽ ነበር። እንዴት ነው የሆነው እንደዛ?
በጠዋቱ ነው የሄድኩት እኔ ብቻዬን አልጠበቅኳቸው። ያው
She said, I started early. I didn't wait for anybody. I went ahead early.
Got ahead early and really ran her race, ran a personal best. How did that feel for her?
የራስሽ እንዴት ነው የተሰማሽ አንቺ? በራስሽ ሩጫው እንዴት ነው የተሰማሽ?
ሩጫው በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል። ኮርሱንም ወድጄዋለሁ። ትንሽ ካፍ ማራቶን በኋላ ነው ትንሽ ነፋሱ ያው አላስከዳለኝ እንጂ የራሴ ሰዓት ተሻሽያለሁ ሪካርድ ባልሰብሩ።
Yeah, she said I improved my record, my personal record. The race was good. I'm happy about it. But the wind was too hard on me.
The wind was a little bit breezy. How about the fans? The fans here in Houston are always tremendous. What does she think about the fans?
ስለዚህ ቆመው ስለሚያስተጋቡት ዋና ሰዎች ስላንቺ ስለሚጮሁት ምን ይሰማሻል?
በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል።
I'm very happy about it.
Her smile says it all. Let's bring in the folks from Chevron with the presentation.
I want to congratulate you on behalf of our 45,000 Chevron employees worldwide on a great victory. Congratulations.
You're winning cowboy hat.
ሰራተኞች በሙሉ በ45ቱ እንኳን ደስ አለሽ እልሻለሁ።
በጣም አመሰግናለሁ።
Thank you very much.
You have to put it on. And there you have it. Your women's marathon winner. Congratulations.
That's such a great shot. Congratulations to her. Now here's the man who hands out the checks. Steve Green is with us. He's the president of Chevron North America Exploration Production. By the way, welcome back home. You've been away from Houston for a while, but you said you're glad to be back.
We are terrific. We are thrilled to be back. My wife and I have been away for about 16 years working in different Chevron operations around the world, but Houston's home, and